Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome to our new campaign of Dire Roll, Neosoma. A couple things right off the bat. If you guys are a fan of Dire Roll, if you've watched Fire and Blade, you'll notice that we now have 5 players. We've added Vegas and New Guy as permanents because I think I might be a masochist. Um, You also notice that two of our people have cameras out, but they're here. So Baron Marty, who played Vaklo in Fire and Blade, he's Hector. He's behind the picture of Hector, and then behind the picture of Chuck is Molly, who played Cattywampus in Fire and Blade.
How do you forget Cattywampus?
There's a lot of information flying through this small brain of mine. You're just gonna have to forgive me. Yeah, and so we've got a new campaign, and we are not playing Dungeons and Dragons. We are playing Fate. And so before I get into this kind of like a little bit about the campaign, and before we get going here, I'm gonna go ahead and kind of give a brief kind of like what is Fate, just so people who don't know what it's about can follow along. Fate is a game system that has two primary mechanics. There's the aspects, and there are skills. Your aspects are little phrases about your character that are specific or special about your character, and they affect gameplay in some way. So let's go ahead and I'll just switch to the game screen here, and we can pull up an example. So I'm going to use your character, Fisto. So Big Joe is Fisto's character. He has 4 aspects, and I'm not going to read them off just because we're going to introduce everybody individually. But each of those aspects, as you kind of see in the example, I'll let him actually say what they are when we get there. Those can be either compelled or invoked. You can invoke your own aspects, or you can compel another aspect. When you invoke your own aspect, you can re-roll your dice, or you can add 2 to a roll, and you have to justify it to tie in with your aspect. Because I have this aspect, I'm able to do this. If someone compels you, that means they are dictating a course of action that doesn't necessarily have mechanical value, but it could be a pretty heavy narrative value. And that would be like Vegas saying to Fisto, I'm compelling you, because you are this, you would act in this direction. And they can negotiate and kind of go back and forth on it. Also, who's not in Roll20?
I just crashed.
So unprofessional. That's what I expect from New Guy. And that's a real basic overview of how aspects work. Skills are rated from +0 to +4 at this character start. And when the roll is made, you add your skill value to it. And in the dice in Fate are called fudge dice. They are the physical die is 6-sided, 2 pluses, 2 minuses, and 2 blanks. So you have a 33.3 repeating chance of getting each kind of result. And then a plus is a +1, a minus is a -1. So when you roll your 4 dice, it's always 4 dice. You look at the symbols and you tally up. Fortunately, because we're using Roll20, it's all done for me. So I'm just going to go ahead and do a fudge roll here. So you can see there, I got 0 is a blank for the purposes of this. So I got 2 blanks, 2 minuses, so I'm a -2. And then I would add any relevant skill. So if I had like a +3 in fight and this guy was fighting, I would have gotten a total of 1. And that's the core mechanic. There is also a thing called stunts. These are special ways that characters can change the rules in their favor or give themselves a little boost. As stunts come up, we'll discuss it. And there's always some kind of qualifier for a stunt. It's not an omni thing. I see you've got a lot of people in chat. Hey, everybody. Blinky Blob's back. ESO. Robert Cosplay. Hey, guys. Thanks for joining us. All right, so now that we kind of got the basics of Fate, and it's actually quite simple. I don't want to go too heavy into it. We will eventually be putting out our Session 0 on YouTube, and we go more in detail in the rules there. So if you really want to deep dive into Fate, if you're confused after today, I'll post that probably sometime this week on the YouTube, and the YouTube link is down below. All right, so Neosoma. Neosoma is a... it's kind of... Well, it is a post-apocalyptic game. But it is not zombies, and it's not Fallout. It's quite different. The story of Neosoma up until this point. is in the year 1954. It just was a day like any other. However, without warning, across the globe, portals from another world opened, and these strange creatures emerged, and they immediately started attacking everyone in sight. It was a extra-dimensional invasion on a global scale. The commanders of these strange beings are called the Kalray, and they are beings of extraordinary power and possess the ability to use magic, something that our world doesn't have, but when they open the portals, they're able to bring their magic with them. These creatures were so powerful and their armies were so immense, and of course, a worldwide surprise attack meant that we humans were on the back. We were on the backswing, and we were losing. And within a year's time, the U.S. unleashed their nuclear arsenal, and the Russians unleashed their meager nuclear arsenal, because it's mid-50s, so they didn't have many nukes at that point, comparatively. And something strange happened. When a nuclear blast meets magic, it had an unexpected result. Nature with a capital N awoke and became conscious. Something that has the power to manipulate pretty much everything on our Earth that isn't human or these other creatures, these other species from this other dimension. And as soon as these nuclear blasts went off around the globe, nature got pissed and just kind of tore up everything. In less than an hour, the war was over, and the entire face of the Earth has been completely altered by the whims of an angry nature. And now it's sometime around 1959. Nothing of the world is what it used to be. Both humans and the people from the other world, whenever they try to settle in any large capacity, when they try to build a town or city, nature destroys it. And so everyone is kind of nomadic. Some people have managed to stick around, but there'll be specific reasons why they can stay where they are. But everyone is kind of, the whole population of others and humans are now nomadic tribes in small groups trying to survive. Gotta swig my olive oil. As we learn more about, as the players encounter the other creature, the other species from Otherworld, and as we talk more about the stuff that's happening in game, we'll shed more light on the setting itself. But I think that's sufficient for everyone to kind of figure out kind of what's going on. So the world basically came to a stop from our history somewhere in baseball season of 1954, and that will be important. That was it. Since then, history has taken a different course, a drastic, horrible course. All right, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and introduce our cast. So we'll just go around and everybody kind of talk about your aspects, what they mean to your character. We don't need to know your stunts and skills. Actually, let's go ahead and hear your stunts for those of you who have all your stunts and however many stunts you have, because I know people are still waiting to fill some in. But don't worry about skills. Maybe we'll say highest skill. We'll say highest skill, stunts, and aspects in opposite order. All right, are you ready?
Yes.
Sure.
All right. I want to start us off, Big Joe.
Damn it.
Joe!
Hi, I am a PR. You may remember me from such films as Dire Roll last season. That's pretty much it. I am playing Big Joe, and Big Joe is Joe Light, one of these creatures from the other dimension that has entered this world. He is, though, unlike others of his species, as he has found beauty in the world that was. His aspects are free thinkers are dangerous, representing his differentiating, wow, can't speak tonight, his different views from his other clan. He has the trouble of just so damn big, as Big Joe is roughly 15 feet tall. And that is going to make getting into some smaller places, aka everywhere, a lot more difficult. He also has the moved by music aspect, as that is what initially caused him to discover his love for the world of humanity. And last but certainly not least, he has the aspect of shock the system. I'll let that one get explained later. His highest stat is, or skill, sorry, is a notice, as he is very perceptive in the gentle giant way that he is. I won't get too deep into his stunts, but he has the scale of the chameleon, allowing him to essentially turn invisible for a short while. He can commune with spirits and ask them some yes or no questions, and he also has Ghost in the Machine, where he can cause electronics around him to become active for a short while.
Awesome. Oh, and chat, fake news. I'm very happy new guys here. All right. Chuck.
Oh golly, that's me. Okay. All right, folks. My name's Charles Benjamin Fountain, but most people just call me Chuck. I'm a very literal literature student, which means I take things for their words and I love words, just lots of them. Um, One of my aspects is aspirations of vengeance, which is an attempt to try and put into some proverbial sense my desire to relive the kind of glory that Alexander Dumas really encapsulated in um, The Count of Monte Cristo and many of his other works. My other aspiration would be, but that's illegal. Oh, I'm a straight laced kind of fella. And that's all you need to know. And then for waxing poetic, I tend to fall into my more empathic and emotional tendencies, especially when it comes to references to those poets that speak so fondly of nature, and especially Dylan Thomas, Edward Thomas, not related, just had the same last name because they're British, and the works of Frost. And then 44 on high, I idealize a certain baseball player with the numbers of 44. My greatest skill is lore. I know lots of stuff, but mostly literature. And then my stunts are labeled literature major poetry focus, which gives me some bonuses whenever I accept compels towards my waxing poetic. My other one is peer reviewed article, where I can use lore to create an advantage and share my positive benefits. And then the other one is I played ball in high school. Once per session for scene, if I have a bludgeoning object, I can use my athletic skill to attack.
Awesome. Thank you. All right, Roy.
Roy. Oh yeah, that's me. Okay.
You changed your name. It says Roy. All the artwork says Roy. Your placket says Roy.
I completely spaced that my name was legally changed to Roy after the after the day of reckoning. Hi folks, I'm Roy Hartsfield. You may have heard of me. I'm kind of a big deal. I am, or was, because obviously the club is no longer together. But I was the leading power hitter on on one of the AAA farm teams for the Boston Red Sox. I was playing in Louisville for a while. I'm obviously super charismatic. I mean, I can't really think of any other way to describe the character. He's a big, soft, lovable jock, really. So some of the aspects that Roy has that I have as Roy, former minor league baseball player. He absolutely can tap into that sort of the past fame. He's just really sports enthusiastic, very athletic. Second aspect being grasping at past glory, because he doesn't seem to realize that his glory days are behind him, because baseball ain't the American pastime anymore. American pastime is running from big scary things. Another aspect of his is captain action. When things get rough and something needs to be done, for better or worse, he just springs into action, doesn't even think, just goes on pure instinct. Another aspect is, I guess I'm in charge now. Kind of tied into captain action, because he's had some situations where he just sprung in and took charge of things. People look to him to direct them, to kind of guide them. When he, in his minor league baseball days, he was team captain, so it kind of comes naturally. And then the final aspect, and for those of you that are baseball and movie fans, this one's for you. If you build it, they will come. And I'm just going to leave that as that. As for top skills, very against the grain, complete surprise. Nobody expected it. His top skill is athletics. And then for stunts, he's got, let's see, ahead of the curve. He gets to use his athletics instead of notice, determining his turn order in physical conflict. And that kind of ties into whole captain action. He's not really paying attention mentally. He's just going on pure physical instinct. Another stunt is rub some dirt on it, kid. He gets to complete, once per session, he gets to completely reduce the severity of a consequence that's physical in nature, by just powering through, and just gritting his teeth and making it happen.
It does
And
cost
then
a fate point.
It does cost a fate point, and then at the end, oh no, never mind. That's the next one.
Yeah.
The next stunt, seventh inning stretch, is he can choose to completely ignore, not reduce the severity, just ignore a mild or moderate consequence of any nature, for the duration of a scene. It can't be compelled against him and can't be invoked by his enemies, but at the end of the scene, it comes back worse. So he's now no longer ignoring it, and it increases in severity. And there you go.
Right on. All right, Hector.
Hello, folks. This is Baron Marty. I used to play Vaclo last season, and now I'm playing Hector Landry, or kind of resident scientist with his nose always deep in books. His aspects: he's a lab tech tarnished by war. He might be a bit older than many of our group's other members, because he was a soldier in World War II, as I think Johnny's character also was.
Yep.
So he was a field medic in World War II, more focused on saving his fellow soldiers than killing the enemy. His second aspect would be away with the fairies, aka moonshiner. I think that's pretty self-descriptive. It's probably gonna be a useful aspect in some social situation when there's celebration and stuff. His third aspect, striving for peace, prepared for war. I've kind of been pondering myself what this means exactly for the last 5 minutes. I forgot to take some notes last session, but I'm gonna find it. I guess he's not gonna be the shoot first, ask questions later kind of guy, and he's probably gonna try to always find to resolve situations peacefully. And my last aspect is I hold the lightning in the bottle. I think that's gonna also have a kind of synergy with my moonshiner background, probably cocktail molotovs or weird situations like that. I'm gonna use the bottle to influence My greatest skills is crafts, of course. I am a bit of a scavenger, I guess, and I have 2 stunts so far. I'm not set on the others, so the first one is clamp that artery. It's linked with the lower skill, and it means that once per session, when using the lower skill to treat someone else's physical consequences, I can use +2. I can add +2 to my roll. And my second skill is my Ollie Thumb. It's linked to crafts, and it means that Hector has a knack for machines and electrical systems. This one allows for a reroll on any interaction with those once per scene. And that's pretty much it.
Okay. And last but certainly not least, Bill.
So Bill, when he started, was a very cheerful and joyful person. He was told that he could be anything he wanted in the world. So using his charisma and natural link with people, he wanted to basically. I don't know. Imagine himself as becoming maybe the president of the United States. You don't know, but that's something that he was thinking he could do. Like the joyful things. However, life would have it that the war broke out and he wanted to join the war. Life does not always give you the way you want. He could not join the war being too young, and his parents, being overprotective, said no before he could join the war. And by the time he could join the war was over. So that was the first blow to his thing. Second thing was he needed to make a life for himself. So he decided to make an amazing career in selling vacuums as a traveling salesperson. You can tell that his hopes were not being met quite so much. But it's okay. You can always come back on your feet, You can always find a way to make a fortune selling vacuums and other apparatus, and then you're going to an apocalypse. So due to that reason, our dear little Bill Baxter is a sarcastic traveling salesperson because he's done with it. Life doesn't want him to succeed, so he might as well just survive. He's done with it. One of his aspects being bark with no bite. Having worked in retail for quite a bit before the whole shebang happened, he's always up to take some strong words to try and make his point across, but when somebody comes back against him and push back, especially when there's physical intimidation put in place, he tends to back off rather easily. He's not the type that's gonna go fist to fist against someone. At the same time, he also has a no bullshit attitude, meaning that he can't really deal with people when he knows that they're lying to him. It really gets on his nerve, but also he has a tendency to avoid lying. He's not gonna outright never lie, but he's not gonna just lie for the sake of lying. Best he can do usually is circumvent the lie by maybe extending the truth a little, fluffing the truth, but salesman perspective, so that's why he says it's okay in his own mind. And due to everything that's happening right now and trying to keep an upbeat attitude, he also has the shifting from tragedy aspect, meaning that it's not that he doesn't see the bad things that are happening around him, but he tends to not let them reach him, so he has a tendency to just oh, somebody's hurt over there. Hey, how are you doing over there? Hey, Sunny, it's the grass is green over there. So he's just gonna go over in that direction instead. So that's one of his aspects as well. His main skill is rapport, obviously because of his high social skills with people. Hopefully, I can portray that quite well in the campaign. And finally, his stunts are actually don't turn the other cheek. Essentially, if I suffer a physical consequences and a physical conflict, I gain a free invocation of bark and no bite aspect until the end of the session. The other one is able to sell water to a fish. Essentially, it boosts one of my situation aspect to a full one when I use the rapport skill. And hey, it's not that bad. It's essentially being able to lower the severity of a consequence of one of my colleague as long as I can talk to them and I succeed on an empathy roll.
One thing, for the actually don't turn the other cheek, that you can only do that once per session.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Forgot to mention.
All right. That's our cast. So, In addition to our 5 colorful characters, they are traveling alongside a small contingent of currently nameless figures. They are traveling with 10 other survivors. And they have all 14 of these people, one way or another, have rallied behind Roy because I guess he's in charge now.
Damn it.
And our journey will begin just northeast of what was once known as Toronto. However, before we get going here, there is one thing that our session 0 was just too long. We weren't able to cover this, so let me direct you guys to this awesome board. Can't show all of it. I mean, I suppose I can zoom out, but this is where your fate tokens will be, and also we need to talk about the game aspects. Now, every campaign of Fate has aspects that are kind of across the entire game. Some of them change based on the story, but this particular game is going to have an aspect that is going to be fixed, and it is going to be called Nature's Scorn.
Ooh.
Now, this is going to be a little bit different from your standard aspect in that when Nature's Scorn is compelled or invoked, then nature, with a capital N, takes a vested interest in whatever's happening in the scene.
Uh-oh.
And there will be another game aspect that will be added soon after we start playing. Aspects beyond character aspects in Fate get applied to pretty much everything. Everything can have an aspect, everything can be a character. So whenever they enter a scene, that scene will have one or more aspects. And I'll put those under situational aspects right there. And just for my players here, if you're being compelled, it'll go in your little corner box. And if you have fate tokens, they will be here. Cool. And if you want to just invoke, you just, like, I'll use Hector's. You just put it out here, and I'll get rid of it.
Okay.
Cool. And at the start of every scene, I get as many fate points or fate tokens as there are players in that scene. So for this first scene, I will be getting 5. I'm going to go ahead and shrink this down. It might be harder to read, but this way you guys will have, the audience will have a better view of everyone's resources here. I think that might be a bit too small. How's that? Perfect. A little bit. Sure, that'll do for now. Okay. Campaign begins with our 15 survivors. You guys are in an area again northeast of the city of Toronto. You are in southern Ontario, or at least what used to be. Most of the Great Lakes have dried up. Because now that nature is magically awoken, it doesn't play by any rules. I feel a sneeze coming on, and I'm trying to find all my mute buttons in case it happens, but then it just went away. So
You say nearly all the Great Lakes.
yes. So let me go ahead and pull up Google Maps here real quick.
Don't play with my tokens.
Yeah, it's because one of them is now called. It's because it's cold outside. It's usually larger.
All right. So Lake Ontario, Lake Erie, they have dried up. However, Lake Michigan and Lake Huron, they are larger.
All right.
Interesting.
And by dried up, I don't mean they're a big dip in the land. The land literally rose to be sea level and that's where all the water went away. So where you are is not recognizable, even if you, like Hector Landry, are Canadian or even possibly from here or near here. It's really hard to get your bearings in this strange land because just major bodies of water are gone. Pretty much every city, town, village has been destroyed in some capacity or ruined. And that's what brings you guys to you guys were kind of scouting out this ruined town called Seagrave, which is right off of I'm gonna mispronounce this. I looked it up last week and then I forgot to look it up now. Lake Scugog, which still exists. So you guys are stocking up on water, and you're looking around in the town of Seagrave for supplies, when suddenly you come across a rather recently built, hastily dug out Canadian military bunker. The secure door has been left wide open. Moss and dust and leaves have kind of collected themselves on these staircases going down into this small bunker that was probably built during the war against the Otherworld. You guys come down there, and it looks like whoever left here took whatever they can carry and bolted, and no one has been here since. There's a lot of rather uncomfortably large cobwebs, as if created by a spider bigger than maybe your arm. However, there's no sign of their creators. You guys do find a small collection of firearms. And at this point,
Sweet.
you guys can go ahead and use Investigate to create an advantage to look around ammunition. Look around for ammunition. The whole place is kind of trashed, and bullets are scattered, and there's leaves everywhere, there's dust and garbage and loose papers. So if everybody wants to go ahead and give me an Investigate, create an advantage. And your target is going to be 2.
That's a four.
So now my brief question. Let's say our character does not have the Investigate skill. Are we just rolling the 4 fate dice flat?
Yes.
Okay.
And while you guys are doing that, I'd like to go ahead and take this time to thank Robert Cosplay and Blinky Blob for the Twitch Prime subscriptions. I really appreciate that. That'll help offset some of the cost that we are accruing here, because and yeah, it really appreciate it. You guys are helping us out in more ways than you know.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, so the target was 2. If you tie it, then you will just get a boost, which in this case won't help you much. So you're trying to beat 2. So it looks like right now we have 2 people who have beat it and 2 people who haven't. Does anyone want to invoke an aspect?
I would like to invoke an aspect.
Didn't you beat it?
Oh, never mind.
I mean, you can, because you can try to go for the extra shifts. If you get 2 more shifts, you succeed with style. But it's up to you.
Sure. I think
Shifts are levels. Like I beat it by 2.
Yeah, every one you beat it by is called a shift. So if you beat it by 1 or 2 shifts, then you succeeded. If you beat it by 3 or more shifts, you succeeded with style.
Okay.
So now, here, since we're learning the system,
Absolutely.
is there a way for me to then invoke, I guess I'm in charge now, to kind of direct the efforts on the search between everyone to...
I have a question relying.
If you let me answer his question first.
Okay.
If Roy's action, if what the action you were taking were that, then yes. But right now, Roy is investigating just like everyone else is.
Got it.
But
okay.
My question was, we do need to invoke one of our aspects and like justify why we use that in this situation, or we can.
No, you don't. That's just if you want to re-roll or get a +2.
Okay. Okay, so yes, in the end, if I want a +2, I have to do that.
Okay. So Chuck got a -3 on his roll. That's gonna be weird because I'm saying Chuck his.
-2.
You got a -3, which totaled to a -2 because you have a +1 in investigate.
Correct.
So you could do a reroll if you want, and then Bill, you kind of leveled out, so it's up to you if you want to spend an aspect, and you don't have to. You can just take the hit. What this is doing,
Yeah, I
this
don't-
particular roll, is just giving you guys a benefit for the later.
Yeah. No, I don't have. I tried to find an aspect that would fit. It doesn't fit. So my guy's most likely looking for spiders more than that.
Yeah, I don't think Chuck has an aspect that would make much sense for a reroll. You know.
Okay.
Oh, actually, I could in theory. Would it be worth it? I mean, I would re-roll or add +2. So in re-rolling might be a good thing, but +2, I wouldn't even reach any of the other players.
But you would succeed, and it's like.
Well,
it's
no,
a-
you would tie. Tie isn't a success; it is a tie. So
Yeah, and okay, Jacken, would there be any advantage if I also succeed? Like if I were to get a +3, for example?
if you got a +3, then yeah, you guys would get more benefit. For every success or success with style, you guys are getting a benefit here.
Oh,
Okay.
okay, so it's cumulative with like how many people succeed and how strongly they succeed.
Right.
And our failures don't take away from us. Okay.
Right. For this particular role, failure just means you don't get the benefit.
Okay, well, for the sakes, I doubt it really mattered all that much. So I would like to invoke the aspect shifting from strategy from the fact that Bill happens upon those cobwebs and he realized that the cobwebs, as you've described, are probably made for something that's bigger than his arm. So it's like, I'm not going to look in that direction. I really don't like what I'm seeing in that direction. So how about I look in the total opposite direction, which will allow him to reroll his roll.
Okay.
So I spend a fate coin if I'm...
Yep.
Okay, so then where do I put it? Here?
I'm just gonna put him in the corner so I don't have to copy paste.
Perfect. And then I attempt a re-roll. Please, gods of roll 20.
I mean, this is a
Without
hard
the-
roll with a +0.
I know, but still, please, gods of roll 20.
Well, you did improve.
Yeah, but not by that much. Still, I tried, guys. I tried, and now I understand
Yeah.
the mechanics a little.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Roy got 1 success, and Hector got success with style, which I'm going to count as 3 successes total for the whole group. However, I'm going to offer a compel to Hector. Now, when I compel, it comes from a magical quantity of infinity. I'm just going to use this here token that Bill put, and I'm going to put it right here in the compelled square for Hector. Hector, while you're sifting around for ammo, you find a box of ammunition that you know, given your war history, that is perfect for the Lee Enfield. And you have enough room in your bag for this last box of ammunition, but...
Wait, it's perfect for the what?
It's a rifle. One of the rifles that you found.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
However, just next to it is a rather large, rather full bottle of whiskey. And I'm compelling your moonshining moonshiners to pretend like you didn't find the ammo and instead take the liquor and not tell anyone.
I would try to take the liquor and not tell anyone because I do have to taste it first. But I don't see why I would hide the ammo.
Well, that's the compel. The compel is you want to keep this to yourself.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And you only have so much room in your bag.
So yeah, now that explains it. Okay, I do think like I look around and it seems like others have found some stuff, so I'm just gonna play innocent, and I'm just gonna move away from the box of,
Okay.
and I'm gonna pocket the bottle, hide it in the bottom of my bag.
And you're gonna keep that. You're gonna take that fate point. All right. So that puts you guys down to 2 successes. So I'm gonna make a new aspect here. It's gonna be called loaded for bear. And you guys got 2 successes because you sacrificed 1. So what this is this is going to be a kind of a special situational aspect because it doesn't quite function the way most aspects work.
Okay.
This aspect is going to be, it's actually going to be a game aspect. So I'm going to go ahead and put it up here in the game aspect because it doesn't go away at the end of the scene. And you guys get 2 free invocations, not each, just as a group, that you can invocate whenever you're doing something involving ammunition, which is probably going to be the shoot skill. And you can invoke them for free twice. Now, once you've invoked them twice, the aspect goes away. And once the aspect goes away, you guys are in danger of... Why is that so big? You guys are in danger of running out of ammo.
Ah.
Okay.
Interesting.
So, invoking them is a benefit, but if you run out, then I can start manipulating how much ammo you guys have. Alright, so the weapons you guys find are 4 Lee Enfield number 4s, which are the Canadian standard rifle. They're bolt action. A Sten Mark II, which is an automatic submachine gun. 3 Smith & Wesson Victory models, which are revolvers. And a Browning HP, which is an autoloader handgun. I'll be adding these to y'all's equipment. And now's a good time to talk about a game mechanic called Automatic Firearm, which is an extra a global extra. Whenever a weapon is an automatic weapon, you can risk a chance of jamming in order to gain more hits. Like if you hit, you cause more shifts, but you risk jamming. I will show this to players so you guys can read that. I don't want to go too much detail into it. When it comes up, it comes up. So the Sten Mark II is an automatic firearm.
So that's an extra one of us has?
Yeah, you'll decide who has that whenever you guys are doling out equipment here.
Okay.
And now we've been obviously traveling together long enough to be kind of familiar with each other's capabilities and incapabilities. Same with the group of survivors that we have that are currently nameless.
Yep. You guys should have your survivors and be able to look at their sheet. If not, let me know. You also have a 40s car with an Airstream silver RV trailer. And the Airstream RV is that Bullet RV, that really classic Bullet RV. Yeah. And you also have a late 40s station wagon. And that's what you guys have been cramming into, all 14 of you, and driving very slow so that your giant can keep up.
Whoa, that's rad.
And you've also been taking turns sleeping in the station wagon and in the trailer, because it doesn't fit all 14 of you who could fit, so you kind of rotate out.
Wait, you mean we don't tie Big Joe on top of the RV like a mattress? Like
you know what? You can.
Like National Lampoon Vacation.
But that would really f up your miles per gallon. You know what? Power to you.
As
right.
The driver, I say no.
All right, who failed? Bill and Chuck. All right.
I'm a failure.
All right. Well, since we already established what Bill was doing, he was just avoiding cobwebs. Chuck, you come into a small, what you thought was just a closet. However, you find this strange piece of machinery. You can kind of tell based on the configuration that it's some kind of tape playback or recorder. You've never seen it before. So after everyone's kind of gathered, and perhaps just so we make Hector to be less of a bad guy in this situation, right before he tells someone that there's ammo there, his interest is piqued because Chuck kind of calls everyone's attention over to this. And Hector, being a tech-savvy guy, you remember seeing this in a journal. This is a prototype for a videotape recorder. This is new technology for the early 50s.
I'm gonna rush to it, and I'm gonna start examining it right away.
All right, you
Not
want
gonna
to
ask
you
permission.
want to you want to take an overcome action with crafts. Have an opposition of 3. See if you can operate it properly.
Yep, exactly. If it still works, if it's in good condition, everything. So that's a roll of 5.
That's awesome. You nailed it. Yeah. Okay. So, upon inspecting the video tape recorder, you realize that there is a recorded spool already like lined up, and a projector's set up so that you can play back whatever's on this. And you want to?
I know what this is, and it seems like somebody left a message. I'm gonna try to rig the projector and the camera, and we're gonna see what it's.
All right. After Hector tells everybody to turn off their gigantic baton flashlights, he starts to play the tape, and it displays on the concrete wall. You hear at first you see some images, and then there's a voiceover. So I'll describe the images you see. You see a log cabin camp, somewhere in the mountains, in a small valley, and there's a wooden sign with the word Erelon etched into it. And I'll type that so you guys know what it looks like. And then this feminine voice comes over, and it's very scratchy and hard to make out at first, but you guys can pick it up so that it's coming as clear as it can. And she says, "These images were recorded after the drop." That's capital. Aside from the GM, that's a capital D. That's when the nukes fell. As you can see, this camp, Erelon, has been left untouched by nature's restructuring. We live in peace with nature here, safe. If you found this tape, head for the Rocky Mountains in Montana, north of Flathead Lake. There's a sign for Erelon on what's left of Route 2. Follow the path. All humans can come and live in peace. Good luck and Godspeed.
Oh, so now that's what's happening. He focused on the bottle first, and after we hear the message, he forgot everything about the ammos, and he's like looking at the others with big eyes and wonders like, do you think this is true? He starts scratching his beard and automatically
Chuck
becomes
Chuck's
distracted.
reaction, he like you get anyway, so Chuck's kind of like taken aback for a second, and he takes a few steps backwards away from the tape and the projection, and takes a moment to clear his voice, and suddenly goes, well, I suppose, folks, that means we've got a place to go.
Well, now, I appreciate your enthusiasm, Chuck. We need to look into this a little bit more. This very easily could be a red herring, could be a trap set by those out to harm innocent passerby.
We also have to wonder how this tape made it from there to here. As I recall, the Rockies are pretty far from here.
Yeah, the Rockies are far from here, so I would say that it's not passersby. Why would anyone do that? Why would they try to? What purpose would they have?
Young one, you still have a lot to learn. And he's gonna look at, Roy with a knowing nod.
So there are people out there that are going to take advantage of any sort of stressful situation and see if they can't gain some sort of profit from it. What that profit might be, well, I'll be darned if I know. But I can't necessarily condone just charging straight into something that we don't know too much about. And Roy will give Chuck a very condescending pat on the shoulder.
Goodness.
I'm sorry, I have to. Like this is too good
No,
already.
it's too good.
And the evil laugh following.
Bill's simply gonna add, he's gonna say, well, I agree with your points. We definitely should not head straight in, but at the same time, at the moment, it pretty much sounds like our own.
Oh no argument. It's absolutely worth looking into, and if it's as good as it sounds like it is in this tape, then by all means, I think we should absolutely head in. It's just a matter of can't be too rash.
If you don't mind, I'll keep those. And he takes the recorder and the tape. I'm gonna look at those more carefully when we have time.
It bears mentioning, this is a prototype early 50s tape recorder. It's about the size of a filing cabinet, so it will take up a
Oh.
lot of room if you just choose to take it with you. You can make
I'm
room.
gonna take the tape. I'm gonna take the tape then.
Well, if you can make room for the whole setup, but it would definitely sacrifice some space in your RV.
I do think we could salvage. Do I think we could salvage a lot of electronics and stuff I could reuse by doing so?
Well, this device is in working order, so this device you can definitely take with you. As to the other electronics in the bunker, that would be a crafts roll.
I'm gonna wait to see how much time we take here, but yeah, I'm definitely, if we are not coming back here, either we take it with us so we can show the message to other people, or I just take the tape and I try to scavenge when I can. And I look at Roy and the rest of the group like, there's a lot of stuff I could do with those
Well,
parts.
if you destroy it to scavenge some parts, we can never play it again. So until we need those parts, no point in scavenging it. Might as well carry it with us.
Oh,
And
but
if we find people that have heard about this place, then we can play the tape and see how legit it is or not. Just saying.
Can we not just make note of the information therein on the
Well, golly gee, that's a
That's
spectacular idea.
oh, but I also want to know how it works in the insides. You can see
well,
that.
you can take the pieces of a machine, but you can also take the pieces of information from the machine before you tear it asunder.
Oh yes, you are quite right, my young friend.
It's at
Clearly-
this point
Clearly,
that
Chuck's the only one here that reads and knows how to write. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
that the light peering or pouring forth from the doors that we entered from would become blocked by Big Joe's rather large form. Says, "It has been quite a while since you have gone in there. Have you found anything interesting?" As he is much too large to fit into a bunker.
You know what? I'm gonna give you a retroactive compel on your so damn big. So here you go.
Okay. Yep.
Can his head fit into the doorway? Maybe we could orientate.
It's a
The
bunker,
projector,
so
so
he
you
can
could-
get his head through, and that's about it.
Yeah, maybe like a shoulder. He tried. He really tried to get in there, but it does not seem to work for him. But yeah, he's kind of like peering through the doors like a kid.
Well, Joe, we've found a good cache of ammunition and some firearms to help protect the group, and additionally, Chuck here and Hector. Chuck found, Hector managed to get running. We have some information leading us to the Rockies, Montana, to be specific. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the territories, but there's a very large mountain range to the west. That we know as the Rockies, and apparently there's some sort of haven there that we're kind of discussing on whether we should be checking that out and heading in. I'm glad you chimed in.
Not.
do you?
Sorry, go ahead.
I would say,
Go ahead.
do you know anything of from the area, from your from you people?
What do you mean, you? No.
Can I just give him a fate point because that's exactly what I was trying to do?
I don't think that's an aspect.
Ah,
He will say, before I answer that, are not all mountains rocky? Seems weird that you would specifically call one mountain rocky, but I was more south from here, near what was once a giant lake. I believe they called it a Michigan. Could be butchering the pronunciation.
I'm sure.
So I do not remember seeing any mountains or rocky ones at that. And he seems kind of confused at like why you guys would call a mountain rocky when it's made out of rock.
Hadn't caught on to that confusion. Thank you for clarifying.
Well, that's I suppose that's fair enough, sport. I didn't necessarily expect too much out of you.
All right. Well, then suppose this. How about we reckon that maybe Erelon ain't all it's cracked up to be? We've been wandering for how long now? Just trying to get the basic supplies to get by. And here is some glimmer of hope that should allow us to really thrive and bring back civilization the way it was meant to be, with real discourse on those things which matter most in the world, and an opportunity for a brighter future. And staying out here is just going gently into darkness and into the night.
I want to compel someone.
Okay.
It's gonna be Bill,
Okay.
friend of Roy, traveling salesman, and no bullshit guy. He probably doesn't like seeing the two others like arguing, so he's gonna interpose and calm everybody's spirit so that we can move on to the next phase. And while Hector is looking at the tape again and again, trying to find details and stuff. So basically, just get them back on track.
Sure, no bullshit. I could take it if Jaken's up for it.
Sure.
I'm also testing
It's a little bit of a stretch, but you guys are learning it, so sure.
No, but if you disagree, you disagree.
Hey, wait. If I'm doing something wrong, that's why I do it. I mean, I want to test the mechanics.
I think, yeah, this is just a kind of gentle prodding into, is this how the mechanic works?
Right, okay.
We invoke that.
So you're invoking no bullshit to have him end the argument, basically?
I'm compelling him to use no bullshit and to try and, yeah.
And try what? It's important. That's part of the compel.
Like I said, he's a friend of Roy, and the kid and Roy are arguing while we're supposed to be salvaging, and the big Joe is waiting for us to.
I get where you're going
outside,
here.
So he realizes. Go ahead.
Which side of the argument is the bullshit?
It's the fact that they're arguing about should we decide right away about doing this or that. I mean,
so it sounds like you're saying that Roy's side of the argument is the bullshit.
I think Hector would be between the two because we don't know. It's all.
But Hector, we're talking about Bill here, though.
Yeah, but what I'm thinking about the no bullshit thing is more like he's compelling me to come into these two and just stop the argument. No bullshit. We got to move on. Like we can keep arguing if you want, but keep going forward. Like, what are we doing here? We're just talking here.
Wouldn't that be shifting from tragedy?
Yeah, that works better.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. You're like, I don't like mommy and daddy fighting. Let's just get back on the road. Okay, that I'll allow that.
It going wrong. Let's get moving.
Assuming Bill takes the compel.
So okay, well I'm gonna try what I'm gonna say what I'm thinking Bill would do, and if it's good enough, Jaken, you can give me the compel. Otherwise, you can say no, I need more, or we can modify it. So Bill would eventually come between the two and be like, okay, guys, I understand that we want to take the best decision possible, but we really need to get back on the road at some point, because not only could something come on us at any point in time, we've already seen it happen. Things go from worse to even worse, quick. And I do enjoy your banter, but please.
Okay, that works for me.
But we should do what we need to do here, like gather information, like Chuck said earlier, which Hector is kind of trying to do right now.
No, I think the compel is he's saying we gotta go, let's leave.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it also needs to be a little bit negative, otherwise we don't.
Yeah.
It's not compel if
Okay.
it not has some kind of
complication.
Yeah.
Perfect, I got it.
That sounds like perfectly sound logic to me. Chuck, shall we continue this discussion
on
the road?
Yeah,
And
I'm not mighty fond of being in here in the dark amongst all these cobwebs.
Exactly. That's...
On that we agree.
All right, team. Let's break.
All right, so Hector, are you gonna take the?
Need any issue?
Sorry, I talked over you, Chuck.
I was just gonna ask Hector if he needed any assistance in getting what he needs out of here before we.
Yeah, because my compel wasn't about like we need to leave right away, but I do understand now that it's gonna affect the game, no matter what my character might do realistically. Like right now, he would try to hold the group, like Chuck just said. Yes, I do need help. I wanna take as much notes as I can, and maybe you can help me on that. And I also wanna try to scavenge this thing. Or Roy, can we bring it with us?
Load it up. We can leave it behind if we decide that it's not any use, or you can grab what you need from it. Let's get a move on. Let's see some hustle.
Hell yeah!
All
Chuck starts to pull some paper from his backpack as they're like leaving, and he's like trying to scribble Aerolon, and then was it Highway 2, or do y'all
Route
suppose
2.
it was Route 2?
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. I thought that was you asking me.
It's almost like I'm role playing.
Almost.
What? What's that? Yeah, no, it was.
What the fuck?
I think I'm pretty sure she said something about it being in the Rockies, just south of Montana.
Are we suppose we're sure it's Montana? You know, maybe later we should play this tape again before we let Hector do his thing.
That's a good idea. That's a spectacular good on you, Chuck. I like the initiative. All right, let's get this out of here and go. Big Joe, you wanna grab some of this for us?
Yeah. So the recorder is on these small wheels, those ball wheels, and they kind of bring it out to the staircase. And Big Joe, you just kind of reach in and just hoist it and gently pull it through.
Yeah, he will stop his stitching as he was putting together a new outfit, which takes a lot of work and time. I mean, his needle is essentially just like a piece of a wrought iron fence that he has kind of grinded down. So yeah, he was just going to grab this device and just look at it. Oh, this is certainly weird, but all right. And then
Be careful with that, my friend. Hector is going to be very worried about the machine.
he will attempt to be gingerly with it.
Yeah. Hector's going to stay close to Big Joe. He's stressed.
All right, so we gather up all our ammo, gather up the gear that Hector wants to play with, get it loaded back up into the convoy, and I guess we're heading we're westward ho.
Westward ho. All right, you guys all pile into your respective vehicles, however that's assigned out. I assume, Chuck, you're driving one of them.
Oh yes, most likely.
All right, so you you fire up the engine, and you look down to check it and make sure everything's good to go, and you see that which one are you driving? The station wagon or the car with the trailer?
Station wagon.
Okay, you see that the little fuel arrow barely moves above empty.
Barely. That's too real a feeling, man.
Feels bad, man.
It's too real. Feels bad. Um, is anyone who rides in the station? Who's riding in the station?
Who do you want to ride
Show
in
of
the
hands.
station wagon? Who wants to ride in the station wagon?
Well, I wouldn't
Yeah,
mind, but I'm one of the person with the driving skills, so unless one of the NPC takes the other car, I'm probably driving the other.
Well, let's see. Does the
Yeah.
survivor says no drive. So yeah, you're driving the car.
God damn it.
I'm probably in the station wagon with the most where there's the most people.
Where's Roy?
I would assume Roy would be probably in the trailer, speaking with some of the other survivors, doing the whole making the rounds, seeing if everyone's good, if they need anything, that sort of thing.
Okay.
I would like to point out, though, that being the sarcastic traveling salesman, when he was assigned to drive the other car, he was like, of course I'm the only one that can know how to drive this thing, aside from you, Chuck, I'm sorry, but aside from you, I'm the only one that can drive this thing, and I'm forced to drive it. I don't even like... And he's a traveling
Okay, while
salesman.
we're sorting out where everybody's going, I just imagine Big Joe's like stretching because he's gonna have to get jogging. Okay,
that's
so-
what he's working on currently is better pants to assist in. He's making basically giant sweatpants.
Nice. All right, so the only other player character in the station wagon with you is Hector.
And the station wagon, that's all. That's where all of most of our generic survivors are, I guess.
No.
No,
The
they'd
station
be.
wagon's
The seats would be
smaller.
the seats would be filled up, so there'd probably be like 4 of the survivors here, and then 2. No, actually, they probably wouldn't want to put too many people in the car because it's got to pull the weight. So, although, yeah, so like, yeah, the faceless, nameless NPCs are kind of scattered about. So yeah,
Okay, I'm gonna stay in the wagon. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, but in general, I think the trailer probably carries more people than.
I
Definitely.
I imagined it to be carrying our stuff, but now I see.
It's probably not very comfortable while driving, though. So I think people would want to fill into the car seats while you guys are on the move. As many people as they can.
Yeah. Which, oof, I've done that. Anyway,
Just super brief note, if there's not going to be a whole lot of, since I'm doing the whole interacting with NPCs thing, I'll also, if no one else objects, take those guns and kind of pull them apart and start cleaning them as we go, just to make sure that they're all in good working order.
Okay.
That's probably what I'm doing with the extra right now.
good ideas on both of you. But instead, before we really get moving, Chuck's gonna like lean his head out of the driver's side window and wave at the truck. Does the station wagon lead? Is that
I
what
would
we're gonna
assume
do?
so.
Probably,
I
yeah.
would assume so too. All right, so Chuck leans his head out and then one besweatered arm and like waves his hand frantically over at the other driver. Before we're moving, we're still standing still, but he's gonna be like, "Hey!"
Okay, so I assume that means I should come over and talk to you.
Well, yeah. What do you think it means?
Perfect. So Bill comes out of the vehicle. Is like, of course something had to go wrong. I'm sure something went wrong, and he's just gonna go to the other vehicle and like lean against the window, and be like, "What's up, Chuck?"
Yes.
Oh, that. Well, we're getting low on fuel again, and I was wondering if we've got any left in the trailer, if we got any gas tanks, or if maybe we can siphon a little bit and split between the vehicles.
Jacob, before I left the other car, how did it look?
You have a little bit more gas than the station wagon at this point, but you're also running about maybe a fourth of a tank.
You cut out about what?
About a fourth of a tank.
Okay, so not that good either. Okay, so I'm gonna say to Chuck. Well, my own is pretty low as well. Let me ask the people if we have scavenged any sort of fuel or anything. So give me a minute, and then he's gonna walk over back to the RV itself and like just kind of knock on the door, and not even open it. Just go like, "Do we have any fuel in here?"
While that's going on and Big Joe is stretching, being taller than pretty much everyone here, uh, is it possible for him to kind of like have a look around the outside of the bunker? Maybe there's abandoned vehicles or even like fuel trucks around.
Give that man an inspiration.
Wrong game. Go ahead and
damn
roll notice. You're doing a created advantage. I'm gonna set the your obstacle of 3. Oof.
Right on.
That's 3 minuses
Yep.
and a plus, so that was a -2.
That was you rolling notice.
Yep.
Yep.
Well then.
Ouch.
All right. Do you want to take the hit? Do you want to take the loss, or do you want to invoke?
Are you looking for vehicles?
That was what he was initially looking for. Yeah.
But you're so big, you should be able to see for like a mile.
Yeah. I was also thinking maybe invoking free thinkers are dangerous. Which I think I will. And seeing as he doesn't spot any vehicles immediately, he starts to look for like stoves or maybe like kitchens or stuff where natural gas would be something that he could maybe have our local scientists kind of create some on the spot fuel.
Okay. And you're gonna spend that
Just
that
for the
fate
plus
point
2.
and get a +2,
Yep.
which is gonna make you succeed.
But this could. Oh, someone already took one. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, I just took initiative there.
Yep. No, I was.
I
waiting.
don't know a lot about
wait.
this IRL. I don't know what could become fuel.
Well,
Well,
with,
I mean-
with time to modify an engine, you could use alcohol, and
Yeah.
yeah, I wouldn't have the tools. and
So
the
just
people.
for the sake of brevity, you're on the lookout for obscure adjacent kind of fuel, but you actually in the end you see this rusted, hollowed out car with no wheels. The engine block's gone. It's just this rusted shell. But next to it, covered in a basically a sheet of homemade camouflage, like it's got stitched together leaves and twigs. Underneath it, you catch the glint of this very obvious red gas can.
Ooh, Big Joe will kind of trounce over there. Heavy footfalls as are normal with him, and not only is he going to grab the small dainty gas can in like his fingers, like he's picking up a quarter, but he's also going to like hold up the makeshift camo and kind of look at it as if he can maybe use it later as well for a showl or something.
Okay. All right. So Big Joe comes back with what looks like a gas can.
Like a jerry can.
Yeah, one of those.
And as a joke to try and lighten the atmosphere, as he sees Big Joe coming, because like you see Big Joe coming, he's gonna go like, "Don't come up on me like that, man."
I am sorry. I will try to announce myself in future.
And Bill will just laugh and be like, "No, I'm kidding. I was making a joke."
Oh, I see. I normally get that reaction though when I have gas, and he'll hand him the gas.
God damn it! Oh, yes.
And Bill will take the canister and like just shake it lightly to see if there's anything.
Blinky, I turned up Molly, so hopefully we'll be able to hear her better. Okay, the jerry can is not full, but you have a gallon, maybe two, in there.
Well, it's definitely going toward Chuck's car, so I'm gonna go over, and Bill would be about to have Chuck fill his own car, and then he realizes, well, Chuck's already sitting down. I might as well, and he fills it.
Aww.
Oh man, when did self-serve start?
Yeah, I was gonna make a comment. Have
In
one of the
the
NPCs
60s?
say
Oh,
it.
good. Nice. I'm gonna stick my head out and be like, "Oh, look at you there! Did you ever work a petrol station? You look like you really fit the service industry."
Well, when you're a traveling salesperson and you go to a gas station and you go, I need service, they just ignore you. They think you're going to sell them a vacuum or something. So I got used to doing it myself, but I still want the tip, though.
Wow. Well, Billy, you know I'm not gonna tip you, right?
God damn it, nobody wants to pay me.
You know,
Anyway.
you really should have attendance for pumping gas. It's just too dangerous on it.
All right. So, despite the gallon plus you were able to add to the station wagon, it doesn't look like you guys are going to be able to travel very far, especially since paved roads are rare, and even when you find them, they could be 10 feet or less. Sometimes you'll get a good long stretch of paved road before it just drops off into a sheer cliff. So
Oh, that's amazing.
gas mileage is hard. So yeah, you're not sure how much farther you guys can get, and that appears to be the last of your gas, of your gasoline.
We might have to stop at the next every settlement we see, or trade for gas if.
Do you think we have any chance if we sit here with our thumbs up next to the...
I don't know if 44 would be awfully fond of the kinds of people who might stop for us, considering his reaction to the tape.
Come on, I've traveled a lot. All they want is a little touch, and you're good to go.
What?
All right, we're gonna cruise on by that. So,
And rocks fall mysterious.
your gasoline quantity gets fed up the chain, as it were, and Roy learns about it. And there's really no choice. You guys set off. Big Joe does another cursory scan of the area. Doesn't find anything of value. You guys drive for a mile or two, and then you see in the distance what you think is another ruined settlement, much like Seagrave. And so you guys adjust your cars to start heading straight for it. However, the closer you get to it, the more you realize that the word ruined really doesn't describe the sheer destroyed state that these, well, it's not so much buildings as scattered building material in a heap. However, you do spot what looks like an old 20s style, an old 30s style pickup truck.
That might be worth a look.
That's like in shape.
As you guys approach it, you see there is a rather sizable, maybe 4 feet wide, 3 feet high wooden sign made of like just kind of driftwood, and it's not made by a craftsman. It's just kind of nailed together. And there's a rather lanky, hunched over man who appears to be carving or scratching into it. And of course, he turns around because he can hear your vehicles approaching. And he's got wild, frizzy gray hair and a patchy yet long and scratchy salt and pepper beard and a wild look in his eyes.
Great Scott.
Chuck
Are you
locks
back
the
from the
doors.
1.81 gigawatts.
The frizzy haired man hears a as Chuck locks the door.
Okay. I assume you guys come to a stop.
Yeah.
No, I just want
Very-
to drive straight through.
Yes, with hazard lights.
No, I come to a stop.
Oh, you know what? I like to think you put on you flip on the hazards, but at this point the bulbs for your hazard lights are dead. But you always do it anyway, even though nothing actually happens.
I'm very by the book. Yeah.
All right.
And then-
As soon as we come to a stop, Roy's gonna pop open the door to the RV, step out, bat over shoulder as per normal, just and make sure that Joe's in line of sight so that I can make that eye contact with the, so in case there's anything that he's seeing that I'm not seeing, he can let me know.
Joe is always in line of sight.
Yeah.
And Bill's in the car, also locking the door, going like, "You go, guys."
I will just say that Joe is also doing this, just waving at this guy.
Well, looks like I got this one. Jesus. And Roy will approach Doc Brown.
Okay. He is not wearing a shirt, but he is wearing a vest, a tattered vest. And he's got tattered blue jeans and really worn cowboy boots with holes in them. Like you can kind of see his toes sticking out. And as you approach, this sign, originally someone had scratched into the sign the word Safeville. And he has scratched out the word safe, and he appears to be finishing carving in dead. And now that you guys are all up against this kind of display of rubble and destruction, you guys can see that the earth in kind of a circle is kind of off kilter. It almost looks like Mother Nature just kind of gave this settlement the washing machine treatment. And yeah.
Oh,
Well, at least it doesn't say "don't dead open inside."
Damn it! I was about to say the same thing.
Great minds. I at this point, I mean, I'm just gonna approach safely, comfortably, like friendly, and hey, sport, how's it going?
He looks over and you're like, hey man, you real?
I was when I got up this morning.
So that's a maybe.
No, it's a yes, friend. I was just pulling your leg.
He looks down his legs. Oh. Anyway, I'm done here. And he looks at his work, nods, and starts heading back to his what you presume to be his truck.
Hey, we've got a little bit of a convoy going on here.
Oh, hey, you still talking to me?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, no, so we've got the little bit of a convoy going here, safety in numbers and all that, you know. This your truck?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we could always use another vehicle, and we'd be happy to offer you a spot in the family, as it were, and see if we can't, you know, help each other out here.
Huh. I get to keep my stuff though, right? You ain't one of them socialists.
Oh, no sir, not at all.
You ever been to Milwaukee?
Man, not since the 52-53 season.
Huh. By my remembering, those years had multiple seasons.
Oh no, I was just never mind.
no.
Never mind.
Ah! Well,
Yeah, no, I don't bleed nothing but red, white, and blue, sir.
okay. Because down to Milwaukee got run over by them socialists.
That's what I heard, and man, I'm trying to avoid that best I can. Ain't no way to live.
Yeah. I get to keep my stuff, right?
Absolutely. I mean, if there's anything that you've got to be of benefit to the overall group, that's your decision on how that's utilized. But like I said, we're just here looking out for each other, trying to live the American dream.
He starts looking around. We're in Canada.
I understand that, but I'm American.
Okay.
And borders don't really matter all that much anymore now, do they?
They've kind of been redrawn.
Yeah?
Tell him we are friendly and mean him
Oh my
no
god,
harm.
what is that?
Oh, that's Big Joe.
He had a weird growth spurt.
I seen men that tall with the weird faces. They hang out with them other people.
Yeah, no, those ones they're a little bit misguided, but Big Joe here, he's solid folk. Good people.
Is he also American?
Joe, you American?
I do not believe so.
He's an honorary American.
Yeah, well, nobody's perfect.
So what do you say there, sport?
These feel like targeted attacks against our Canadian fellows.
Hector's busy. Hector's busy.
Sorry, Blinky. Also non-American.
Don't take anything my NPCs say personally. Moving on.
Big Joe's is happy he's part of the group.
He's like,
or otherwise.
hey, I'm almost out of fuel in my old brush bucket here, but I know where you can find some.
Well, you know what? We were actually just on the eyeballing for some too. Why don't we go together just in case they run into any trouble along the way? We can help each other out.
Okay. This is I don't know how fortunate. Oh yeah, you guys we gotta deal with the. Yes.
For our new friend here.
I think you cut out. All I heard was for our new friend here.
I had a quick question for our new friend here.
Probably the same question I have.
Yes, sir, Chuck. What?
Is that car talking?
Oh no,
I
that's
crunched the window down.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
No. That's Chuck. Hey, what's your name, by the way, partner?
He looks like he's really trying to remember, and he goes, Flip?
Flip?
What?
Did you? I was confirming. You said Flip?
Yeah, Flip. Short for Flip-Ip.
Ah, all right. Well.
But everyone just calls me Flip.
All right,
Flip.
Man, I thought we left the gnomes behind, but here.
Always got to bring him along.
Flip, Chuck, Flip, Big Joe. I'm Roy.
Chuck sticks his head out of
Bill?
the window, like
Shut up, Bill.
Damn it.
Kind of tentative, and goes, "I had a quick question for. Well, what'd you say his name was?
Flip. His name's Flip.
What?
Flip.
What?
Flip. His name's Flip.
What?
His name's Flip.
I'm gonna call him Philip.
Chuck, his name is Flip.
How did his name? How'd this locale go from Safeville to Deadville? Flip. We seem to be ignoring a pretty heavy-handed sign.
He looks
Yeah,
back
I
behind him and he goes, "Well, if I were a guesser, man, I'd say that everybody died."
Yeah, my question is more related to how, in fact, that dying occurred.
Well, how does anything happen in this day and age? One day they was not dead, nowadays dead, but not Flip.
Were you present for Flip? Was Flip present for this?
I'm Flip.
But did you see what happened that killed all these people?
Oh no, I just showed up and I saw this dumb sign saying Safeville. It ain't safe, everybody dead. So I changed it to Deadville.
So you explored the whole place by
Doing the
yourself.
Lord's work.
Explore what? It's just a pile of, dead.
But how do you know they're dead?
Let me see. Anybody alive?
Now, just to make sure we're all on the same page, Safeville does look like a landfill that just
Yeah.
started out. Okay,
Yeah.
just making sure.
I can't.
I suppose my
can't-
question, Flip, was more just about whether or not you were a resident of Safeville before its name change, unfortunate as it may.
Nope.
All right,
Ah,
and Chuck brings his head back in and slowly cranks the window back.
So where is this gas you were talking about?
What's left of Toronto, there are these strange people. And I mean, real strange people.
And you would know.
What is that? How would I know?
I'm just saying, you seem like a very observant type of fella.
Well, I'm blind in my right eye.
I love Flip.
You know what? My apologies. I didn't see that.
Neither did
Not
I.
very observant.
I can't see nothing out of it. Anyways,
Hey,
he
Roy,
points real kind of timidly towards Big Joe and he says, "One of them tall fellers. He controls that whole area to the west of Toronto. They called him Tornades or something in French.
Tornades?
I don't know. I don't speak no French.
Tornade.
Who said?
Hector would know.
Is
Hector
it-
would know.
Yeah, that's it. Tornade. Anyway, he got a bunch of us normal people to think he's some kind of, I don't know, big time super dude. And they don't say dude. Sorry, Superman. And they all toe his line. It's real weird.
Commies?
Nope, that's Milwaukee.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
They all dead now. When half your city's underwater, you can't really share anything. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean,
Unless
you
you're a
could
good swimmer.
Share a lot of water.
Well, they're dead now.
That's pretty bad news. I guess we shall skirt around from that area.
Anyway,
So you were saying just outside Toronto, this Tornade fella.
well, the people who follow Tornade's people, yeah,
Uh-huh.
they got all kinds of stuff because every time Tornade, kills honest good folk, they take whatever is left over, and they got a big old stockpile. And I heard from my friend, you wouldn't know him, you haven't met him. He's not here right now. I don't talk to my truck. But my friend said that they are willing to trade if you make an offering of sufficient quantity to Tornado. All I had was my car and my truck, and I thought it'd be pretty dumb to trade my truck for fuel, because then I wouldn't have no fuel to put into nothing.
Right.
Right.
That sounds like a smart decision.
So anyway, I saw this junk pile over here, and I was looking around for something useful, but all I found was, dead people and dead things. Nothing really of value.
All right.
My only worry about your story, Flip, and it's just something I want to bring up, not to you in particular, but to the whole group that we're talking right now. Is if he kills honest folk for their stuff, and then we go over and offer them stuff, I'm afraid he's gonna.
Well, in this new world, there aren't no guarantees now, are there? They might kill us all.
There is one guarantee. The Kirby vacuum will be able to vacuum the dust of your house, no matter the state of the apocalypse is in.
Well, as soon as I get a house, I'll remember you, Mr. Guy in a car. Oh, I
Bill.
remember. You're Shut Up, Bill.
That's right.
God damn it.
Well, it sounds like we need to go have a word with this Mr. Tornad's retinue, as it were. See if we can't convince them to either part with some of their gasoline or else.
That sounds like a ride of a time.
You're coming with, right, Flip?
Hell yeah. I've been
All
traveling
right.
with you for a long time, haven't I? Why would I
Yes,
leave
you
now?
have. That's darn tootin', sport.
Survivor count increased by 1.
You have gained
Anxiety
Flip.
And we have a
increased by
name.
5.
You have gained Flip.
Which is now gonna call me. Shut up, Bill. It's gonna be very awkward every single time he calls for me. What do you want me to do? Answer you or shut up? I'm not sure.
That's great. That's great. So, yeah, why don't you go ahead and drive on? Idea. That truck looks like it'd be pretty good to hitch the trailer up to.
Yeah? I mean,
yeah, we might.
the hitch fell off a while ago.
Well, but we've got a hitch. Maybe we can get that transferred on over.
Alrighty.
Why
Why haven't we done that sooner?
Yeah, that's an excellent question, Flip. You any good with a wrench?
Nope.
I am. Hector hears the word wrench and yay, something to do.
Hector, why don't you come on out here and meet Flip, and let's see about helping him get the hitch moved over from the caddy to the truck.
Hello, sir. My name is Hector. Pleased to meet you. And what do you need a new hitch? We need to transfer the hitch. All right. And without waiting for him to answer, he's gonna start working on the hitch.
Okay. I'm not gonna make you roll. That's just something you can do.
Well, I mean, with enough time, it's gonna happen unless there's some difficult.
Alright, so you guys move the hitch over to the truck, and now the truck is carrying the Silver Bullet RV.
Yay! We finally get some average gas mileage.
Also, as an aside, I'd like to take 2 of our survivors that are decent shots, give them a bolt action rifle, and put them in the bed of that truck.
Okay.
And then when he gets a bump, we lose 2 survivors.
Well,
2 less mouth to feed.
I hope he can drive well with one eye. I'm gonna say that to Roy before I go back in the station wagon.
hey, he made it this far. Let's not curse the guy.
Alright, when you guys are getting ready to go, he heads over to the front of his truck, lifts up the hood, takes what looks like a rebarb piece of rebarb and just starts banging it. And then when he's satisfied, he closes it up and it starts. And then he kind of leans out the window and looks back at the 2 guys in the bed, and he's like, "You gotta give it some love."
Percussive maintenance. He knows his stuff. Just on a side, we're okay. It's coming back. We lost connection to Roll20 for a bit.
Oh, I didn't.
Yeah, no, a couple of us dropped.
Oh, I didn't notice.
Coming back in. There's a Chuck, and I'm assuming a Hector is coming in shortly.
Okay. So, are you guys gonna head for Toronto?
I mean, I guess we kind of have. Are we going to make it there with the gas we got?
Barely. You won't be able to leave.
Well, then it looks like these guys are parting with some gas, or else.
Well, as a certain T.S. Eliot once said, only those who risk going too far can possibly find out how far one can go.
I know that.
Excellent reference, Big Joe. You've learned so much.
I have to say, it is thanks to your books and your love of them, Chuck.
Books.
Can I open a parenthesis? And I really love your voice, Fisto. I really love your voice. Every time you speak, somehow I'm imagining at a baseball game where there's this guy. It's always the same guy, no matter which baseball game you go, and he's the one announcing the stuff, and he has that exact voice with like these stops at these exact moments. I don't know why. It's always the same guy. But thank you for that voice. I really enjoy it.
Not a problem. I was thinking about doing Harry Carey, but I didn't think that would go over and fit Big Joe that well.
Why
Like-
not Harry from Harry and the Hendersons?
Ooh. But I mean, I could also say, Cubs win! Cubs win! And hi! Hi! Anyway, sorry, I'm getting us off track.
No, I did it. My bad. So we picked up Flip, an interesting character.
And we're heading towards Toronto.
Yep.
Why would anyone do that?
Right?
Man, it's not even the apocalypse here, and I would not go to Toronto.
That is a horrible, horrible idea.
All right. You guys make towards Toronto. Now, Toronto is a disheveled ruin.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the buildings are caved in or collapsed. It also stands on three different kind of tiers, as if when nature was just kind of playing around with everything, kind of shifted the entire city onto three tiers, and that abrupt movement caused a huge collapse. So most of the buildings are just kind of like shattered or tipped over. Some of them are on that dividing line of where the ground kind of did that, and they're just completely fallen apart. And however, towards the center of the city, where the tallest buildings, the skyscrapers, would be, many of the skyscrapers have fallen down, but you can see in the middle, either by nature's course or perhaps this tornado, his influence, the center is cleared out. And you can see, even from afar, you can see the skyscraper ruins are forming a circle around this kind of area. And there appears to be a man-made path through the ruins, headed straight for that and through it. And you hear, over the sounds of the engines, you hear Flip going, "We go that way!"
You heard him, folks. We going that away.
I like to follow strange folks and strange paths towards strange destinations. Let's do.
Are you just going straight for it? You're not going to stop or for anything and just go?
Well, I still don't like the idea of him killing honest folk, but at this point we don't really have a walkie-talkie for me to call and be like, guys, we should probably just check things out quickly before we.
I'm sure you guys
Yeah,
have
I think we
a
could
system.
slow.
Yeah, a system for stopping the convoy.
Yeah, so hazard lights on. Let's
Even though
slow
they don't
to a
work.
Halt. Yeah, exactly. And slow to a halt just outside of Toronto. Because, Toronto's a dangerous.
Yeah, so I would call for a halt.
It's a den of
Before we
scum
enter.
and villainy.
So yeah, I would call a halt if possible before we enter Toronto, and then suggest to Roy that maybe not like do it like crazy, but at least maybe investigate the outskirt just in case traps, ambush, that kind of stuff. They kill
And,
honest people.
and as usual, we would also try to hide our camp, leave survivors with a scheduled patrols.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure by now we've got kind of a system laid out for
Mhm.
this, unless you want us to kind of lay it out here for you, Jakin.
No,
Yeah. We could just say we do that thing that gets us to stop and move on.
Yes.
Yeah.
we
Could
we
we
at least
also-
had to do it once.
I mean, it's easy enough to just lean out the window and be like, "Hey, Big Joe, run up there and tell them."
Or even just like a hand
We
signal
go
to Big
very
Joe, and he organizes the stop.
Yeah, we drive very slowly so he can effectively just like jog along.
We need to get a flatbed with like with
Or
like a really big lazy boy bolted to it.
That would be awesome.
I was thinking of doing something for me from Ant-Man and the Wasp and using a truck as like a skateboard.
Yep,
That'd be kind of cool.
I just watched it yesterday.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, we do the thing where we stop so that we can get out and check things out.
Okay.
Would it not be wise to send only one of our vehicles in further into the city?
Would it not be better if we left all the vehicles together and then just walked in on foot, less noise? My people are rather cautious and maybe setting up some sort of ambush.
In fact, I want to invoke my aspect, striving for peace but prepared for war, so that I can create an advantage for us during our preliminary scouting run, I would say. I'm gonna
Being
take a
extra
couple.
cautious.
Yeah. Well, striving for peace, prepared for war. I guess that fits, right? Once again, testing the rules.
Jacob?
Jake, and I believe we're waiting for your.
Okay. What? Sorry, I was prepping the
Uh,
next scene.
Well, I did want to do something, invoke an aspect to create an advantage for us, like coming in the next scene because we have patrolled.
You don't have
the
to
place.
invoke an aspect to create a scene. That's a skill check. So you can create an advantage with the skill.
Okay, but this is the
Did you
kind of skills
see-
I'm less good at, so maybe somebody else can take
No,
a
did you
lead on the.
see one of the things I had asked as well in the Roll20 chat?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
It's kind of why I took the skill.
We should start with that.
So you want to
Yeah.
create an advantage
Cities.
using contacts?
Yes. If/when we come into contact with other folks.
Okay.
Maybe you remember somebody from Toronto that could become one of our goals. Try to find that guy if he's still alive.
Okay. For this Toronto scene, I'll go ahead and give you a boost. What do you want that boost to be? What do you want to get out of the information from your previous contacts of Toronto college students?
When you say it like that, it sounds a lot lamer than from your previous contacts with other collegiate pals.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Probably I want to know something about the layout that will make it helpful for us to find where they would be likely to set up camp.
Okay. So you know that just from the view of, because most of the buildings have been like destroyed, so you kind of got a clear line of sight to the downtown. Yeah, you know that of the buildings still standing, I'm just gonna pretend. I'm just gonna make up the layout of Toronto, and say that the dorms of the University of Toronto would still be standing, given what you can see from here, and so you would suspect that would be a good base for any group of people to live at. So for that boost, let's go ahead and you want to call it like lay of the land or something along that lines.
I mean, yeah, either lay of the land or something like, well, that's where my friends hang.
I like that. All right, and you get one boost on this. What color? Oh, there you go.
Okay, and in my case, since I stopped the convoy, and the fact that I never could actually go to war, my Bill is more than happy to bring some of that knowledge from when he was still training to become an official army guy or an infantryman and go to war. So he would like to roll notice to look through the pad that we can see. I don't think we have binocs. If we do, he would like to use the binoculars to try and see what would be the most the easiest place where somebody would set up an ambush along that path from his military knowledge. Of course, he didn't apply it because he never went to war and he's sour about that. But at least he can check out spots where he would set up an ambush if he wanted.
Okay.
Wow.
I'm gonna say maybe not binoculars, but you guys have whipped up like a homemade spyglass, and using that and kind of going back to your training, you kind of get the idea of where if they have firearms or other kind of range weapons where they might take up a position and that has good sight lines. So you've created an advantage. So you get to create an aspect, and since you succeeded with style, you get 2 free invocations on it. So what do you want that aspect to be named?
Since I would expect where the ambush could be potentially, maybe ready for anything. That doesn't sound too intense, but sure, ready for anything, something like that. Anybody has a better idea to call like?
Well, I think it should have something to do with knowing where they would be. Maybe one step ahead of you.
Oh yeah, there you go. That's perfect. I like it.
Or even like that's what I'd do.
That's the spot I'd choose, yeah.
It's your choice. You're making the aspects.
Yeah, no, I like the one you said, Jakin. One step ahead.
One step ahead of you, then. All right, I'm going to indicate that these are your free invocations. Oh, I have to do the color for everything. But this is an aspect, so I'm going to move it over to the aspects. But it's your color because you have 2 free invocations on it.
Perfect.
And Chuck, since yours is a boost, you get a boost, which is a +2, and then it's gone. So,
for example, Jakin, I just want to make sure I understand the rules right. So let's say we drive up that path later on, and there is an ambush. I could call upon that aspect to say we're actually not surprised. We were expecting.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, this scene is going to have an aspect, and this scene's aspect is called Surrounded by Trouble.
Ah, well, good thing I got my aspect now.
And that's just an aspect on this scene.
And for my own clarification, this scene that we're currently going to the scene where we're actually investigating, like we're actually sneaking into.
Yeah, this scene is basically whatever going on right now up until you guys go into Toronto. This is going to be one scene.
Okay.
So we didn't send a patrol yet, but
Not yet.
we've taken the lay of the land from our landing site. So yeah, I don't really have the skills for patrol, so I'm just gonna throw the idea.
What I would believe patrol would probably be noticed for the most part, and if we climb on stuff, athletics.
Yeah,
I
I
don't know.
feel like
True enough, yeah.
I feel like we should leave a camp of the vehicles. I was interested in bringing one of the vehicles because it would be easier to carry gasoline out of Toronto if we had wheels.
Yep.
And I'm on the step of bringing a vehicle as well. I agree in your side, Chuck, because it's also a safety thing. If we bring a vehicle and we get the other two stolen, at least we still have one, and vice versa. If we get that one stolen, we still have two. So it's
Yep.
Don't put all your eggs in the same basket.
While you guys are figuring that out, I'll be back with the survivors, kind of giving them their last little pep talk and handing over one of the Lee Enfields to one of the ones with a decent eye, decent aim,
Right.
and just with the basic keep them safe.
Yeah, while everybody gets ready, I'm just gonna take a sharpshooter position and I'm gonna take a swig subtly. Gonna taste it.
So we're sending the core group into Toronto and leaving the survivors. Are we bringing Flip? Should we bring?
I would say probably we bring Flip, and either I mean the truck would make sense because if we can find enough containers to carry this gas in and toss it into the back of the truck, or alternatively the station wagon, because also cargo space in a station wagon.
I was pro station wagon just for its size difference compared to a truck.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm completely down with the station wagon. And then also seeing as how he got that truck started, I'm not too confident that if we need to make a hasty retreat, that we'll be able to give it the love it needs to get going.
We should also keep in mind that they wanted the last time somebody tried to trade for fuel, they asked for the truck. So maybe we would want to give them the old beaten up truck.
No. That's so
Okay.
that I get where you're coming from, and yes, but I'm gonna give that one a hard no because
Flip will flip.
Flip will flip, and
And we're not trading them any of our vehicles for fuel. I don't.
No.
Think. We don't want.
no, I'm gonna trade them a stern talking to and a swift kick to
really
their
good
bottoms.
Swing. Yeah.
All right, real quick. Warg Huga, I think that's how you would say that name. Thank you for the Twitch Prime subscription.
Oh, nice. Thanks.
Yeah, thumbs up, thumbs up.
Feeling the love.
Good looking out. More.
Now you're on the trolley.
Oh my god. All right. I was just making sure. Okay. So it looks like we've got a whole party together, and if we take the wagon, I guess I could drive us in.
Yeah. Well, I mean, do we want to drive in or do we want to throw that bad boy into neutral and push it in nice and quiet?
Ah, like sneaking out of the parents' house.
Which Chuck has never done.
Portals.
Yeah, no, Chuck has definitely never done that.
He's heard stories though.
But Molly has.
That's better safe than sorry, I think. Like I don't want anyone getting hurt on this. We're looking to get in, get some fuel, get out. And I don't want to be dealing with any hostile Joelites. not necessarily a comment about your entire people, Big Joe, but the ones that are hostile are a little bit much to handle.
Understand your concern, and it is that reason that I no longer travel with my clan.
Exactly. You're a much more enlightened individual, and we appreciate every bit of that out of you.
I
Also,
appreciate that.
also be wary of humans. They can be tricky.
That part.
Oh,
So,
I did not know that.
Oh, go ahead.
I did not know that humans could also be tricky.
Oh, yes.
Was that sarcasm, Big Joe?
No, I am.
Oh.
Been
All the
spending too much
humans
time with Bill.
all the humans I have met have been wonderful people. So this
Wow.
is.
You haven't met a whole lot of humans. That's sarcasm.
He's
Joe, I'd like
you've
to
met
introduce.
Bill, right?
I'd like to introduce you to Shut Up Bill. Shut Up Bill. This is Big Joe.
God damn it!
I suppose it is
Yeah.
every person's right to change the name they see fit, but all right, shut up, Bill. It is nice to meet you.
Slam dunk.
I fear this will stick.
I hope it'll stick.
Do you have an
I
aspect
fear
slot
you're
open?
No, I don't.
Do now.
Damn it.
I might change it later on.
Add a new aspect.
Oh no. Okay, so what I'm gathering is you guys are going to push the car in so that you're the station wagon in so that you're sneaky beaky, and then I assume you're going to try to get the lay of the situation before you approach.
Correct.
Okay. Well, pushing the vehicle in will be easy peasy lemon squeezy. All right, so in order to sneak, let's do everybody roll. I reckon there's probably something for this, but I want to look up the rule. Fortunately, Fate's pretty loosey goosey. So everybody pick a skill that you think would be relevant to you sneaking around a ruined city. Give me a roll. The obstacle is only going to be one, and if three of you, oh wait, no. And if three of you succeed, then we'll call it a group success.
I'm gonna stealth.
So we're rolling what again?
Ouch.
Stealth?
Oh, there is a stealth.
But we're in a truck, so it's not about personal stealth.
No, because you're just gonna stash the vehicle close by, and then it's personal stealth from there. But you guys can justify any skill that you think would work. But stealth is an obvious. Yeah.
I would try to work on the car to make it stealthy with whatever natural element is found around, like trying to attach it.
Oh, okay. Trying to grab like junk to conceal the truck. I mean the station wagon. To give it some natural camouflage. Okay, you can do crafts for that.
Oh, crafts, because I did roll a poor stealth roll. I'm gonna use craft if you give me the chance.
Yeah, go ahead.
Your choice.
Big Joe will take a few moments, kind of sit crisscross applesauce, and will be humming a song. Oddly enough, it is the first song that he ever heard, Mr. Sandman, and at the end of which he will whisper something in his native language before his skin starts to kind of ripple and he fades from sight. I'm going to be spending a fate point to activate my stunt Scale of the Chameleon, which essentially turns me invisible.
Ooh.
There you go.
Nice.
So let's read that off, Jake, and just so you're on the same page as me.
Sure.
Once per scene, you can vanish while in plain sight by spending a fate point using a smoke pellet or another mysterious technique, which was his magic. This places the vanish boost on you, and while you are vanished, no one can attack or create advantage on you until after they've succeeded at an overcome roll with notice to suss out where you are or went. And the aspect goes away as soon as you invoke it or someone makes that overcome roll.
Okay. Cool. That's pretty dope.
Because Big Joe is magic. And that's like a weakened version of the one that they have from the book. So
Pretty potent.
I say aliens.
All right. Who?
Uh,
Roy, Bill.
I'm just gonna roll stealth because I can't think of anything else to justify.
Okay.
Yeah, there's nothing Bill can really use. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got deceive, but I think canonically Chuck isn't a very stealthy person with his deceive. He's more of like a academic bullshit.
Hey. No. Go to Mama.
Can I call an aspect to get a +2?
Yeah, absolutely. But you probably want to roll first.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll first, so just the roll itself. Okay, and I would like to get a +2 on it by calling sarcastic traveling salesperson. As a salesperson, when you want to make a sale, you gotta like get to the person. But when you look like a salesperson, you have to surprise them. Like, hello, sir. Would it like?
So you're using salesman ambush tactics?
Yes.
I'll allow it.
He works at a mall.
Hell yes.
No, I'm a traveling salesperson, so I'm fine.
Right. So, oh yeah, thank you. I don't know who's on top of that, who's not. So this will be a little bit. Okay, so that gives you a 3, which means you succeeded. And Chuck, Roy, are you guys good with that? I'll let you know right now. The group succeeded because Hector got succeeded with style, and then Bill succeeded. So that'll give you enough.
Nice.
Child, go to Mama.
I probably used Big Joe's tarp that he found.
I don't know where that is, but okay, sure.
I mean, it was on him, but I mean, knowing that we're going to be sneaking, he would have been like, "Oh, you might need this."
Okay.
Yeah, before
So-
he vanished.
You guys suss out that towards there is this circular, rather large courtyard that's been kind of cleared and is covered in sand. In the middle is this crazy statue of a vaguely humanoid shape made of like hubcaps and twisted metal. And at one end of this courtyard there is the dorm that Chuck knows about. And there is a small kind of like almost picnic area in front of the dorm, but it doesn't look nearly like one you would want to stick around at. It's one you'd expect to find needles at. And someone dropped, and now my frames are all screwed up. We lost Vegas.
We were talking about taking 5 minutes also, I guess. I would need 5.
Yeah, but it would be nice to like finish a scene and get to a break point.
That's kind of
there's Vegas.
That's kind of what I was going towards.
Yeah, okay,
yeah.
if he's back.
So there's about 11 men kind of scattered about this area. One of them is a head and shoulders above the rest. Just boxy shape, boxy head. Looks like a real meathead. And then half of the group look like what they imagine a greaser in a movie would look like. And they're carrying various firearms, handguns or bolt-action rifles slung over their shoulders. And the other 5 look like Mad Max minus the leather fetish. And they all have like crude bludgeoning instruments or maybe a blade.
Okay.
Well, you guys are just scouting out, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So
And they
I
haven't
mean,
seen us or anything.
No, you guys succeeded your stealth, so they don't know you're watching them.
all right.
Oh, and Bill, since you got that aspect, 2 of those greaser guys are kind of up on a crude, like makeshift balcony, overlooking the circular kind of courtyard.
I'm gonna talk to Roy
Perfect.
and the others hanging
So
around.
this is on the campus of U of Toronto.
Well, what once was the campus, yeah. The only thing left of University of Toronto is like the dorms and maybe some streets, but this whole area has been like cleared unnaturally, and this circular courtyard is filled with like sand.
I'm gonna well, calmly talk with the others so we don't get detected. But maybe we should take positions and send one of us to see how they react, right? Where do you want me, Roy?
Well, I think this. I don't know. These greasers look like hooligans. I
That
don't
they
know.
do.
I don't.
Just look how they're dressed.
But
Right,
they
right.
do
Like,
look like
what
the
kind of?
hooligans in control here. We can't just come guns blazing.
Well, no, of course not guns blazing. But absolutely, it's worth considering whether or not we even want to try talking to them, because you know kids like these, they don't much respect authority.
They don't sound like they would too much, no. They don't sound like they play fair, or they don't look like they play fair.
Jakin, how does a boost work? I sent a whisper about it.
Okay, a boost is it's a situation aspect, but you just get one use of it. One free invoke for a +2, and then it's gone.
Okay, so it's for like a +2. That's what I was assuming, but I wasn't sure how it worked. Yeah,
I mean, you said there's a total of 11 of them,
Yeah.
and 2 of them are up on kind of a makeshift balcony.
Yep.
Yes, which I
guns.
Yep.
How many in total have guns?
5.
Is it possible
and
that
these are people, right?
What was that?
Go ahead.
Go ahead,
Fist.
Chuck.
Oh my god.
the Canadian standoff.
These are people, correct?
These are people. Yep.
Like humans. It's not really fair to say people. Big Joe's a friend of mine, but these are
humans. Yes.
I have a non-human friend. That's a bad likeness. I feel instantly terrible for even saying it. Anyway. And Chuck's gonna like scoot back and whisper over to Roy, because Roy's in charge, I guess he is now, and say, Roy, I got a sneaking suspicion that whoever's gonna be in charge is gonna be back around those dormitories. One, they're the only standing thing in Miles, but also that's just where people tend to congregate in any society.
Pause. Just the middle is cleared out. Everything around it is like dilapidated or half collapsed skyscrapers that have almost been like pushed out of the way. So you're in a ruined city right now, and then it's just this center part has maybe like a quarter mile diameter has been cleared out, and that's covered in sand with the statue in the middle.
And on our way in, we didn't see anything remarkably resembling a fill station.
No, nothing functional for sure.
Okay. No, and that absolutely that makes sense, Chuck. This clearly we've got sentries out here. They're not gonna put the guy calling the shots out in the open like this.
So
are there any? Go ahead.
Then do you suppose we could involve ourselves in some of that chatter needed to get to the guy in charge instead of making enemies of ourselves too?
That is absolutely the option that I would prefer.
I don't like getting shot, so I agree with that.
Right.
I agree with that, but we have to be prepared. I would stand sentry.
And Hector, I was actually going to ask if you would mind just grab one of the rifles. I assume you already have one of the rifles.
Yeah.
Sights on the tower, if you would, please, or on the balcony.
You've
We
got
could-
it. He's gonna jog to his position right away.
Were there any vehicles in this cleared out sand area?
Not that you could see.
Okay.
I was
mean,
going to ask, if you don't mind my interruption, what exactly our plan of action as far as the lies we were going to tell would be, if lying were to be involved.
the lies that are going to be involved are no, it's just the six of us because we got Flip. God damn it, Flip.
Did you bring Flip?
Yeah, did we
I
bring-
thought we were bringing Flip.
Oh, we probably should, because he knows of these.
Yeah, and we did talk about it earlier.
All right.
Yeah.
For those people.
His knowledge isn't exactly reliable.
But they probably know him also.
I'm going to put another scene aspect, just called Flips here.
God damn it, Flip. No, no.
No, I don't like that.
Oh no.
Well, it can't be positive as much as well as negative.
It's an aspect, so anyone can invoke it or compel it.
Yeah, anyone, huh?
Anyone.
The one with the tokens.
Question about
Answer. Yeah.
that. If we compel it, the person that says that they want to compel it, would they get the fate point?
Like, can we compel ourselves?
Compelling and invoking a someone other than a player, for the player, has the same cost, 1 fate point.
Okay.
So we probably want to invoke that.
Yeah,
one
you
if we
probably just
use
want to
it.
call it an invoke. I think really only players and NPCs who are like, because this is a situation aspect, but like NPCs and players are the only ones who can be compelled. I don't think you can really compel a situation aspect. You just invoke it.
Okay. Just curious.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, as for the lies, it's the lie is it's just the six of us.
5.
6. Five.
Vanished. Yeah.
5. Yep, correct. Good.
Or even less.
Oh.
I mean, Big Joe probably. Big Joe does. Why would I say that in first person? I do not want to be there, if possible. It may cause some ruckus if my kind discovers me. So maybe just say it is the 4 of you.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's a good call out. And quite frankly, at that point, oh yeah, no, 4, because we want Hector staying here with eyes on the balcony.
Flip points to each of you who are visible and goes, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah.
Correct, Flip. Yes. Yep. Nope. That's your.
I see no flaws in this logic, but how do we convince men on stands with guns that we're not hostile if they seem to oppose authoritative figures?
They're not the ones we are here to trade with.
Yeah, we're not trying to express any authority over them. We're here to
Get some
barter
shit.
for some barter for some supplies and leave them to their business.
All I'm saying is we look like honest folk.
Chuck has a point. He has a point.
Okay.
It's
So then-
I remember what Flip said, that they kill honest folks. So what I'm getting from Chuck's suggestion is that we should look honest, but not
No.
kill a.
No. So I got this. This is how we look a little less honest.
Nailed it. You're either less honest or you're a pitcher.
I'm totally convinced.
Well, let's be fair. Let's be fair. If I'm a pitcher, I'm totally dishonest anyway.
Yeah,
so.
if you're a pitcher, you're not honest.
Got it. All right, so we're leaving
That's
behind
where all the
Hector and
nodding is
Big
for.
Joe, and the rest of you are gonna walk forward.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you emerge from your hiding space. You get maybe 20 feet. Sorry. From the perimeter. You're now walking across the sand, and one of the kind of like gnarly looking scrap guys sees you and immediately rushes over to the big meathead and swats him and points to you guys. And he turns your way, and he kind of sneers, and you guys kind of come within shouting distance. And he reaches behind one of the tables and pulls out this kind of barbed kukri, which is like this forward slanted knife, but it has barbed wire wrapped around it, kind of defeating its purpose. And he kind of like, he doesn't brandish it, he doesn't point it at you, but he's holding it, and he shouts, "Oh, you just entered Hurtville, eh?" And that's where we're gonna go ahead and take our first break.
Mayville, Deadville, Hurtville.
Well,
Maybe
in the
he's from
50s,
Minnesota,
adding "ville" at the end of things was part of the slang.
In the 50s, Ville was the thing. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. All right, guys. So we're gonna go ahead and take a 15-minute break here. The players are gonna use the bathroom. I'm gonna put the kids to bed, and then we'll be back for another hour and a half or so of Dire Roll Neosoma. So stick around. We'll be back. And we're back. Thanks everybody for waiting. Got another hour and a half here of Neosoma. So let's get to it. Now, Roy, Bill, Chuck, and their good old pal Flip are approaching this band of post-apocalyptic ruffians.
Ne'er-do-wells.
And one of them just said that they have entered Hurtville, and he seems to be in charge of this group here. And yeah, you guys take a few more steps forward until you're within talking distance, and then he kind of gestures in such a way that implies that perhaps that's far enough.
Hi, buddy.
What brings
Now,
you to
we're not-
Toronto?
We're not cruising for a bruising or anything.
Chuck. No.
The implication was that we were going to be the ones hurt.
You'll have to excuse my young friend here. He's rightfully intimidated. Y'all seem to have a pretty good thing going here.
Oh, sure. When you follow a great and powerful tornado, you get lots of benefits.
That's what I've heard.
So you would say the friend would benefit?
I don't think that term dates back that far. So you'll just shrug.
No, it was just a joke.
No, it's said now.
We broke Roy.
So that's I'm sorry. Discord chat is currently breaking me.
I'm so glad I can't see it.
Yes, you are. So yeah, no, that's what I've heard. That's tale around these here parts. Honestly, we're looking to trade for a little bit of fuel and get on out of your guys' hair.
He looks surprised, and then he looks over to his buddies, and they all kind of start chuckling. Oh, you want to trade, eh?
That's right.
You
A.
you sure you came to the right place?
I heard you have fuel. So yes. Yes,
Oh.
I'm sure.
Oh, sure, we got fuel. What do you got to trade there?
We've got a couple of not couple of we've got a little bit of surplus ammo and a handgun we can part with.
Speaking of, who among you is armed? And with what?
I would have a pistol, but I would have it in my belt.
Okay.
I'm gonna assume I've got. Oh, God damn it!
The Sten?
I've got the Sten probably slung over my shoulder and a baseball bat.
Okay.
The stand.
So, got some ammo there.
That's right.
In your pockets?
No, we decided to not necessarily bring it in case we ran into any ruffians before we got to you.
Oh, yeah. Real smart there. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, then.
Yeah.
How much ammo?
Off the top of my head, I'd say upwards that we could part with upwards of whatever the game mechanic of loaded for bear 1 invocation would be.
Maybe we can get you some fuel for that,
That would be greatly appreciated.
but not much. Oh, Vegas is breaking up really bad for me. Anyone else? Oh no,
Yeah,
everyone's breaking up really bad. So it's Discord. Good.
I couldn't make sense of any of that.
Okay, are we all back?
Well, it seems to be back.
Yeah.
Looks like we're
had-
back.
All right, Vegas, we didn't catch that. Go ahead and repeat.
Yeah, no, we're trying to make it to Montana. So as far along you can get us, that's what we're looking for.
All right, well, we'll make a trade, eh? Why don't you go get your ammo and we'll get our petrol out. See if we can find a reasonable swap there.
Sounds like a plan.
We should. I'm gonna lean over to Roy and say we should probably meet them outside, like midway between our spot and their spot, or something like.
Yeah, no, I don't. I agree.
So, I can. I'm gonna look to Roy. Do you mind if I speak?
You also cut off.
Okay, I'm saying, do you mind if I speak up to them? Like, if I speak in your stead?
Yeah, how about?
So, the thing is, without fuel, we can't move it via truck. It's kind of heavy to move around. Do you mind if we meet about? And I'm gonna say like the about distance. I suck with distance, so like the about distance between the two meeting two.
It's basically halfway down the road
Yeah.
to the outskirts of what was once Toronto.
Yeah.
You can tell he's a little annoyed by that. Go ahead and give me
Rapport.
Yeah, and it and I'm gonna have him roll will, of which he has none. So this is gonna be okay. Yeah. So he's like, we can make that work.
Fair enough.
And then he kind of like holds up his ineffectual kukri. He says, "But you better make it worth my while."
Oh, trust me, we will. We definitely will. Especially if you have the fuel that we need.
Okay. What time you want to meet it there?
I'm gonna look at Roy.
Why don't we? Roughly, what time is it right now?
You have no idea.
Where's the sun in the sky?
It's about midday.
About midday. Why don't we say midday?
Pretty long wait.
We got to get back and make sure that we haven't been ransacked in the meantime. Just us, you know.
All right. We'll meet you there at 3/4 sun.
Okay.
Sounds fair.
Okay.
Deuces.
And then he kind of like does this with his kukri, like, okay, bye.
Okay, so we walk away.
Hector's gonna
And,
get cramps.
On the way back, when we pass that meeting point, Jaken, I want to invoke one step ahead of you and prepare our own counter ambush, essentially.
You would invoke that when you make a skill towards that effort.
Okay, perfect. So it would probably be noticed at that point, but for now we're just going back, and then when we come back, we'll.
Okay.
But keep that in mind. I would like to do that.
All right. So are you guys gonna head back to your car? While you guys are headed that way, Flip's like, well, I think that went really well.
Yeah?
Surprisingly well. I was honestly expected to get shot, to be fair.
Almost.
Can we keep an eye to make sure no one's watching us go back to our vehicle, like following us?
Sure, make a notice check.
I'm gonna help if I'm allowed.
Please do. I don't have notice.
Okay. As soon as you guys had your backs to them, the meathead guy turned to one of the greasers and gave him a gesture, and that greaser's starting to kind of follow you through the rubble, keeping his distance, and he thinks he's being sneaky.
Do I
Hey.
notice that one?
Well, I'm the one that noticed it. I'm like, Roy, do you have a knife?
I got a baseball bat.
Give me a baseball bat.
No.
Just for a moment.
Okay.
I noticed.
I
But,
borrow his baseball bat. Oh, what were you gonna say, Molly?
I believe I noticed it too. I got a 3 to notice it, but
Yeah, you noticed it too.
in that, my idea would be to get him further away from his companions before we lay a smackdown on that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, better idea. I give back the baseball bat to.
All right.
Well, I wanna like set an arm on Bill's like shoulder, like a hand on Bill's shoulder whenever he goes for the bat, and go like,
Shut up.
further away before you lay the smack down.
Well, to be fair, I was just gonna be cheeky and do this with the bat, but sure, your idea sounds.
Considerably better.
Hector, are you gonna do anything to that 0, or are you gonna take the 0?
I'm gonna take it.
Okay. Because you guys tied, you spot him, but he spots you spot him.
Damn it!
So wait, the fact that I rolled changed the result?
Yeah, that's what happens when you roll.
I mean, I just made a roll to see if my character noticed the guy trying to like ambush or follow my group.
Correct.
And in doing so, you expose yourself, and he saw you.
That's all good. We got this.
Okay.
We got this, Hector. Don't worry. You're not Bill. I ain't gonna tell you to shut up.
Oh.
No, it's just out of character. That's the aspect of the rule I didn't. So next time I'm gonna consider more before rolling.
Fair enough. All right. And then I assume that none of us notice Hector noticing the guy being noticed, so we don't notice. So we're going ahead with our plan. But now
No, Hector is aware
we
that
don't
his
know that he
noticing of the
knows.
notice has been noticed. So Hector knows that they made eye contact. So Hector knows that he knows that he knows.
But we don't know that Hector knows.
But he
that
could tell
knows
you.
that Hector knows that we don't know.
But he could tell you.
And to our viewers, we're as confused as you are right now. There's only these two that know what the hell's happening.
1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 2 plus 1 plus 1.
I'm not sure I get it, but I think I do.
Yeah,
All
no,
right.
what he's saying is he's wondering if we noticed that Hector noticed when he noticed the guy who noticed.
Okay,
that
wait.
he noticed.
Not go back.
Exactly.
Yes.
Now I get it.
Yeah, it's all spelled out.
Thank God these are cover my ears, because otherwise you'd see smoke coming out.
Your ears are hotboxing.
That's kind of.
So basically, my rifle flashed in the sun, and I saw the guy like perk up. Oh shit!
No, you
Why do you-
literally
why do you
made
have a
eye
shiny
contact.
Yeah,
Who keeps their
basically.
rifle shiny?
Well, he meant the scope. But
You're the
I
one
would
who said to
keep-
clean it earlier.
I would keep my rifle very shiny
It's true.
if I had one.
Chuck would.
Right.
But essentially what happened is that the guy was trying to sneak toward us, and then you looked up at him, and he looked up at you, and then the music started.
Yep.
Yeah, they definitely fell in love.
Okay, from now on, guys, only period musical references.
Allowed?
Yep.
Okay.
So
How
no
about I
George
saw you
Michael.
standing there?
Too obscure. All right, let us proceed.
Yeah. All right. There we go. Let's do that.
When the glint off the shiny rifle hits your eye like a big pizza pie, that's amore?
Exactly. Although Lee Anfield number 4s are not by rote scoped, so.
Well,
And they're primarily wooden, but
Well, the outside.
that's why I want to know why it's shiny.
Shiny wood. You know, he got some wood polish on there.
Anywho, okay, so we know that he knows he's been spotted.
Assuming Hector told you. Man, we've been on this for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's crazy. Wow. One
Man would
roll.
never derail anything.
One roll.
Okay. I have to invoke Fisto of campaigns past. Anybody else taste copper?
Oh, now we're referencing ourselves. We really are a show.
Hey, we're not supposed to be postmodern. That's not for a while.
Oh, no, I'm not going to get on it. All right. So moving on.
Okay, Hector, do you tell the rest of us that you noticed being noticed
As soon as you guys arrive. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so we know. So at that point, it's just kind of like, all right, Roy's just going to turn around and be like, you coming, boss?
Oh, that's right. Hector's not with us.
I
We have to
was
go- yeah, we have to
covering
go-
your asses.
Yeah, we have to go past Hector, so Hector kind of pops out and be like, hey, you're being followed.
So you said that to the guy following you?
Yeah, I'm going to turn around and be like, you coming, boss?
He looks frightened and he takes off.
Should I
Easy.
shoot
Hector,
him?
take a shot.
I'm thinking about it. I don't.
Now there's
I
only
suggest-
10 of them.
I mean, at that he knows that we know. We might
Oh
as
my
well
God.
just make fun of it. We might as well make fun of it and just be like, come on, let's go. If you're
Okay.
following, let's just
Well,
be
he
polite about
he ducked
And
behind some rubble and he's now out of sight.
it. Okay. And then I will look to the rest of us and be like,
And no one knows what that means.
I'm gonna flank him.
all right, let's get back and actually get whatever the game mechanical equivalent of one invocation of Loaded for Bear is.
Okay.
Because that's what I told them.
So you guys are going all the way back to your vehicles?
I'm gonna cover or retreat. Stay back a little bit, use my stealth, and
Are you going back
Yeah.
to the station wagon and then driving back to the convoy?
We might as well push it to save on fuel.
Okay, so
Yeah, we
you're,
have the time.
so you're gonna push the station wagon back?
Yeah.
Okay.
No. We should leave the station wagon closer to the place we're gonna meet up with the guys
Okay, fair. Yeah.
and have an escape.
Okay.
Okay, I'll stay with the station wagon. But I want somebody else to stay with me. I don't want to be alone. Hector?
probably if you want me to cover you from a distance.
All right. As soon as we make it clear of earshot, I'm a mention to Chuck that I don't know if we can trust these Canadians with these Toronto folks. I'm joking. I'm not actually saying that. Not actually saying that.
Hector wouldn't have heard you anyway, so.
Yeah, no, I mean that's at that point. I guess Chuck, Big Joe, and Roy are gonna head back and Flip head back, grab as much ammo as they can carry, whatever the equivalent thereof is.
I would be careful with Big Joe around. He's gonna carry all the ammo.
How much ammo you can carry? Got it, boss.
He just
Big
picks
Joe
up
isn't
their
going
car.
with them.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
he's
would be
vanished.
careful about Big Joe is invisible right.
so Big Joe, what are you doing then?
Staying where he was, just keeping an eye out. Now that he heard them talk about how they've already seen one person following them, he's just gonna hunker down and to see what these knuckleheads are gonna do.
Nice.
Canuck all heads.
Give me a notice check, and overcome. We'll call it 2.
Okay.
Okay, you succeed with style. All right. You see them pull out some jerry cans, and they start pouring out some of their jerry cans into other ones, and they're putting all the empty ones aside, and they're putting all the full ones back inside their dorm, and the dorm's all boarded up and fortified. And you can see the big guy kind of like gesturing towards some of his guys, and you can tell that they're trying to make a plan here as to what to do. And you can tell, so it appears to you that they don't plan to actually give you guys any real fuel, just make it look like they have fuel. And you can tell that the greaser-looking guys are grabbing ammunition for their weapons, and they're strapping up. This looks like they're planning to waylay the parlay.
Okay. Is there anything really big / heavy in between where Big Joe is now and like the meeting point? Like a car, or I don't know, like a boulder.
Big rock.
Let's say there's like a rusty I-beam, or would you want something like visually large?
More. I mean, visually large would work, but just something heavy, like big and heavy. That's, I don't know, if thrown as a projectile would maybe crush people.
I mean, a rusted I-beam would definitely kill someone on contact.
Okay.
Maim a few if it hit it in the right way.
But not 10. You want something that could like crush.
No.
5.
Yeah. I just want something that we could take out a bunch of their numbers all at once. Big Joe's main thing is maybe not kill them, but more so incapacitate them, as he's not really a murderer. So, while PR is okay with that, he wouldn't be. So,
Got it.
but yeah,
So he
he'll
wants
position himself. He'll position himself behind the large I-beam and kind of get ready to hurl it.
That's gonna cause quite a surprise.
Alrighty.
I would like to equip myself with a baseball bat. a slugger of.
Does Chuck have his own?
Must have one melee
Hmm.
weapon at least.
I mean, probably since he cared so much about it from like as far as he still likes to call on it even if he couldn't make college ball.
Okay. Then you
Well,
go
I mean,
get your bat.
Let's say if anything, I would assume that Roy would have had a couple, and one could have been donated to Chuck when they reunited. Reunited.
Did you sign it? Please say you signed it.
Oh, totally, 100%.
Where did you find a pen? Just kidding.
I signed it with your blood.
I'm a student.
Whoa.
I obviously carry mini pins. and
Yeah.
pencils. Although
Yeah.
English students prefer pens.
He has a
But
pocket protector.
But as a student, Molly, all these pens are somehow not yours. You ended up with them. At least if you're like,
It's like the opposite of a like a clinic desk where someone, instead of people taking all your pens, you took everyone else's pens.
I do that. Don't let me grab your pens. You're never gonna see them.
Noted.
So there you go. You have a bat.
Damn it. Roy's not dishonest enough to do the same thing to them that they're doing to us. To just grab ammo boxes and fill them full of rocks.
Do you imagine the trade fleet goes down without a single shot fired? We get a barrel of water, they get a box of rocks, and they're like, shit.
Hey, Private, go grab me that ammo box full of ST1s.
Big Joe, you do see them fill the empty jerry cans with it just looks like
Runoff?
yeah, exactly. In order to make it slosh around when they bring it in. All right. Do you guys just want to fast forward to the meeting?
Might as well.
Yeah.
And Big Joe,
And
you have this eye beam and you're kind of shadowing their movements.
And
Yeah.
just a little bit before the meeting, as I said, I want to invoke the aspect one step ahead of you so that we can set up our own counter ambush, aka find a very good spot for Hector to have kind of a sniping look down position.
Okay, give me a create an advantage action using stealth.
Shit, I don't have stealth.
Well, you are gonna. I mean, you can use this invocation to give you a +2.
Okay, so I'll do that. So stealth, which means no skill, with a +2. Oh shit, that's actually going to be good. So
right.
Another token gone plus.
You don't need to use a token because you have 2 free
yeah,
invokes.
because it's free.
Yeah.
There you go. So yeah, I use.
Okay. So let's go ahead. You created an advantage. So you get another aspect. And I'll just keep it your color. And you will get 1 free invoke of it. So what advantage you want to create? Something to do with your ambush point?
Yeah, my idea was to provide Hector or anybody else who wants it.
Okay, we'll make it Hector's.
A vantage point to use so that they would have a very good covered position that would overlook the meeting.
A camouflaged crow's nest, as it were.
Yeah, essentially.
All right, well, there you go. So, Hector, you now have 1 free invocation advantage point.
Okay.
All right. So, is Flip still with you, or do I need to get rid of Flips here?
I would say Flip's still with us.
Okay.
I would have asked him at some point. Hey, can you handle a gun?
Well, no, but I sure can punch a guy in the face.
You
Okay.
might have to. So
Can you punch a guy in the face with a gun?
Well, I don't really know how that would work. I can't load my hand into it.
Okay, fine. You don't get a gun.
That's probably wise. He nods sagely.
I'm realizing this.
When Flip says it's wise, obviously that was a bad idea.
that one might actually become our leader in the future.
All hail Supreme Leader Flip. Short for Flipip.
And Mr. Flipip to the stranger.
Right.
It's Mr. Flipip. This was
So now there's only 3 of you at the actual meeting. It's just Roy, Chuck, and Flip, right?
No, I wouldn't be there. Bill.
Oh, okay. You. Okay, cool. So Bill meets up with you. All right. So you guys got your ammo piled up, and coming down the road, you guys see the motley crew of disreputables carrying jerry cans.
Time out. I was told very explicitly only in period music references.
I'm pretty sure the term motley crew came out before the band.
Don't take this from me. Don't take this from me.
It's mine now.
Damn it. I'm sorry. Continue. I had to.
No. Feel free to keep interrupting me. All right. So you guys square off maybe 30 feet from each other. And the meathead says, okay, so how are we going to do this?
What do you mean, how are we going to do this? Like,
Let me come over there and see how much ammo you got. And then I'll decide how much fuel it's worth.
how much fuel you got?
Well, we brought these 3 jerry cans. I doubt it'll be worth all of it.
All right, come take a look.
Okay. Keep your eye out, boys.
I'm just
Yeah, for
I'm
what?
curious to know. I'm just curious to know whether or not fuel is really all that valuable to you when your community seems to be quite settled in an area.
Oh, sure. You ever heard of a thing called supply and demand?
Whereas bullets seem to be quite valuable to you indeed, because you seem to own a lot of guns.
Razor. Do you want to make a roll on that, or are you just trying to? Chuck?
Did I?
I'm just trying to make the point that, like, clearly we have enough boxes that the canisters are of equal value.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. Give me a rapport roll.
Shit.
I love it.
I don't have rapport.
I do, but you had the idea. Now I feel that.
You could chip in also.
He doesn't seem moved by your words, stubborn as he is. He comes over and he looks over your ammo. He's like, how about 1 jerry can, eh?
How about 3 jerry cans, B?
To be fair, though, you did bring them out already. Would be a shame to have to carry them back.
How about 1 jerry can, or we take something else? Maybe something to remember us by, eh?
Whoa. Sport.
And with that, I-beam is thrown at them.
Nice.
Okay.
You just threatened Big Joe's boys. That was mistaken.
Big Joe is trying to not really kill them, just more like, I don't know, hit them in the legs or something.
New band name is Big Joe and the Boys.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's
First
only for
song,
bluegrass,
I
though.
beam.
All right. I'm gonna go ahead and I don't know what constitutes what covers a thrown weapon.
Might fall under shoot.
Right. It's either shoot or fight, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and do it with probably shoot.
Trying to help him.
Yeah, shoot is the skill using ranged weaponry. So go ahead and give me a shoot roll.
Cool, aka a fudge roll. I am going to invoke, but he's so damn big.
Yeah.
And being that he is big, I mean, an I-beam, to most people, I mean, that's like impossible to lift, but I mean, he's 15 feet tall. I mean, he's pretty, I mean, he has to run a lot. So he has lots of good cardio. So I'm going to just invoke that to get a +2 to the throw.
Okay. And they're going to defend with notice since they don't know the attack is coming. They would have to spot it with their eyes, which they don't have any ranks in, so they're just going to do a fudge roll. And so you got a 2 right now, and they got a -1. So
With style.
you scored 3 shifts. An attack works a little differently. You scored 3 shifts. So this is where we need to talk about stress boxes and consequences.
Okay.
Cool.
Everyone has a series of stress boxes, 1, 2, or more, based on if you have high physique or will, depending on the type of conflict. So whatever you take damage from a shift on an attack. In this case, it would be 3. That's how much incoming stress you're taking. You can use a stress box to get rid of to soak it up. So if he was doing 2, they can check their 2 box. Or they can sacrifice a consequence, and the consequences are 2, 4, and 6 in order to soak up some of that so that it doesn't go to stress. Before an attack is made, so they can't do it right now, you can choose to concede, which means you lose the fight, but on your terms. If you run out of consequences and stress boxes, then you are taken out. And that means whoever took you out has full narrative license to determine what happens to you. So that's kind of scary.
Mm-hmm.
So you are hurling this I-beam, and these are just a couple of chumps. So the crazed thugs guys, they are taken out. They're just taken out.
Oh, like
Concussions.
yeah, knocked out or
Well,
or
since they're taken out, you get to decide how they're out of the combat.
And how many were there?
5.
Okay. I would like to picture it much like a cartoon or a children's kind of like action show where this giant I-beam kind of lands on all 5 of them, pinning them to the ground, and they're like they maybe have some cracked ribs or bruised, but the weight of the I-beams being distributed between all 5 of them, and while they are hurt, they are still alive.
Okay. So that just took 5 of the bad guys out of action. So
And instantly, Bill takes a tactical movement behind.
all right. So let's go ahead and I'm gonna draw out the zones here. So there's the street. That's gonna be one zone, and then there is the buildings next to it, which is gonna be where Hector and Big Joe are. And then there's going to be the other side of the street, which I'm also going to draw out. Currently, there's no one in that. So those are the zones. Most of the combatants are in the center street zone, and then Hector and Big Joe, you guys are in the adjacent zone. Okay. So those are the zones. Now we need to roll our turn order, and the turn order is determined by. You just compare notice skills. So there's no roll for this. It's just whoever has the highest notice will go first. If there's a tie, then we go to secondary skills. So let's go ahead and.
I'm gonna use this moment to put notice as one of my average skills +1,
All right.
if that's right, because it does seem like we're gonna use it a lot.
And point of order, I use athletics, not notice.
Right.
One of your stunts, right?
Yep. All right. So if everyone could just type your rank in either notice or whatever you have you, so that once I'm done filling these in, I can get you guys in real quick.
I'll be back in 30 seconds.
Oh, and look at that. Big Joe and Roy going on the 4.
Yeah, I had no idea that notice was used for initiative. So beneficial, I guess.
Okay. The thugs and the chief have no notice either, so we need to go to secondary skills to resolve this tie. For physical conflicts, that's athletics.
Oh, nice.
Then
I
physique.
know Chuck's got a little of that.
All right, so they don't have any. So Chuck is going to supersede them because they don't have any, and the chief has more physique than the greasers, so it'll go like this. And I'm gonna go ahead and put Roy up top because Roy and you tie, and then he also has the 4 athletics. So, yeah.
Yeah, which crushes mine.
Right. Okay. So, Roy,
Yep.
you're up.
All right, so pre-combat, this I-beam flies out of nowhere and just pins the other 5 down to the ground.
Yep.
And that was
Big Joe
like,
appears.
yeah, and that was middle of me going, whoa, 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 sport, no need to get. And so at that point, it's just one of those, oh, well, that happened. And just pull the baseball bat out, and I'm not going to swing it on him, but I'm going to advance on him and be like, I'm sorry, who's taken what from who? And try to back him down.
You're gonna try to provoke him.
Sure, even though I don't have that.
You sure don't want to just swing the bat?
Yeah, let's just go ahead and swing the bat. Yeah. Let's do that. I'm going to kneecap him.
Okay, the chief is going to use his combat awareness, and he's going to roll fight and defense. Double check here that he can. This is my first time running this too, so.
Okay.
Well, in a long time, I don't think I've played this in years, so I'm just going to double check my shit here. The default skill list, fight, can use for defense. Cool. So he's going to roll his fight against yours.
Okay. And I think I might be invoking here, but we'll see. Boom.
All right. He has +5 fight. So he got a 6.
So and I'm gonna invoke.
And for audio, Roy got a 3.
Oh yes, my apologies. I'm gonna invoke here, and
I have a question. Can we pile on invokes? Because if Vegas invokes for +2, and I also give him an advantage by taking a pot shot at the guy. No, I can't.
The only way you can help your friends get more out of their fate points is by compelling them to give them your fate point.
Okay.
So it's now bear with me here. I'm not damn it. No, I don't think I can do this. I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm gonna invoke anyway because either way this is gonna work. So what I'd like to do is invoke Captain Action so that because I'm this just spring right into action guy, I want it to be I saw that I-beam flying and Big Joe appearing, and as their captain, their commandant, whatever, is kind of like turned around looking at what just happened, I've already pulled Bat out and swung so that he didn't actually get to defend because I'm getting him from behind while he's not looking.
Okay. That'll give you a +2, but you're still 1 down because he's got a 6.
Is that a +2 or is it a reroll?
Either. Your choice.
Because I could beat a 6 on a reroll.
You were neutral on that roll.
Yeah, you rolled a 0 on the roll. So keep in mind,
That was a bad roll.
The creators of Fate suggest that you don't take a reroll unless you had a -2 or worse. Just because.
Okay. Because I was at a. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
But you could do it and hope for the big whammy. You have to take the new roll though if you reroll.
Statistically, it's against you, but
yeah, it
you
is
always
against
beat
me. No.
statistics.
Right
now you're failing. Take a reroll.
You know what? No, I'm just. If I use it for the +2 and he's got a 6, then I'm just basically wasting it.
You can invoke multiple aspects. You just can't invoke an aspect multiple times.
Oh, well, shit. In that case, I'm going to invoke the captain action to have gotten it before he was really prepared. And then I'm also going to invoke former minor league baseball player and that power swing.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. So that's going to be 2 fate points, and that puts you at a 7. That means you got 1 shift on him, and he's gonna go ahead and check his first stress box. All right, so you kind of hit him in the arm, and you left a welt. Maybe you dislocated his shoulder, but he's still in the action. I mean, this guy's a towering, muscle-bound figure. So you clobber him in the side, and he's just like, and he kind of growls at you. Okay. Big Joe.
First, Big Joe is going to call out. They replace the gas with water. This is them trying to hoodwink us. And
yes,
he is going to. I mean, his bestie does this. The guy that is leading them does this. So he's going to grab the closest small tree and get a bat of his own. And I'm assuming just from the distance, pretty much my entire turn will just be getting there.
No, you can move from one zone to another as part of your action. If you want to move 2 zones, that's your full action.
Okay, no, then I definitely want to. Big Joe just comes trudging forward, tree in hand, and then we'll swing at this big guy. And as he's swinging, he's like, I'm sorry for this, but you have crossed us.
And you're swinging at the chief?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is fight?
Yeah, he's going to try to make, again, using his combat expertise, he's going to try to roll out of the way of all the tree as the leaves are flying off with the swing. So he's also going to roll fight, which once again, he has a +5 on.
Yeah, I can't beat him, but I mean...
maybe he rolls a -4 and you roll a +4.
Still amazing.
Oh, damn it, you got 2 pluses, 2 minus.
So, best case scenario, we tie here. You got a 1.
Yeah.
He got a 5.
Okay. So I take a bunch of... Correct?
No. On an attack, nothing bad happens to you.
Okay. I thought I remember reading that on the attack that the loser suffers. I might be thinking of a different system. I know too many.
Don't we have a choice to succeed, but at a cost?
Not in a conflict like this.
Not in a conflict.
Because the way damage is dealt to your stress is based on the shifts you have. So if you have no shifts, nothing happens. But basically, the only thing happening right now is the attack is failing.
But yeah, so trudging forward, swinging is in his best impression of both Chuck and Roy. He's, swing and a miss.
All right. Bill, you're up.
Well, the chief seems to be pretty busy already with 2 people swinging at him, and he's afraid of shooting into... So... I'm gonna probably move, stay in the same zone, but move around in that zone to try and get behind cover. I know it doesn't do anything mechanically, but I'm just saying that's what I'm doing. And I'm gonna try to take Should I pot shot at the thugs, or should I try to create an aspect at them? I'm just gonna shoot at them. Okay. So, by the way, I pulled the revolver out of my belt, obviously.
Yeah.
The Smith and Wesson. Where's my shoot skill?
Okay, and you're shooting at the greasers.
Yes.
They are going to go ahead and use reaction time to get out of the way of the muzzle. Take the muzzle of your gun, so it's no longer pointing them. So they're going to try to use notice to defend, which they have at a +0. So you tied.
What does that mean?
I
That's it.
think a tie on an attack means you get a boost. For your next round. Let me look at that. That's what we're going with. I'll look it up, but that's right now. That's tie is you don't do any damage, but you get a boost.
Okay.
Yep.
So basically, as you move the muzzle, it goes off, and while it doesn't hit them, it deafens them and dazes them as, loud sound. Something like that, I assume.
Yeah, exactly. Also,
Oh,
like
actually, Jacob, could I invoke my last step of one step ahead of you, since I was kind of expecting an M, and give myself a +2 to win?
Yep. You absolutely can do that.
Well, here you go.
All right. The one step ahead of you is an aspect, so
free.
it's still here, but you no longer have any free invocations on it.
Yeah, no, I can invoke it again, but using my token.
Right. So
keep
you
forgetting
were
there,
doing
I-
2 shifts on him.
Yeah.
Does this guy have any consequence? Yeah, no. Okay. So they're taken out. Wait, how many
All
shifts
of
are you
them?
doing? 2 shifts? Yeah, this whole group is just going down.
So, since they're going down, I would say the first one goes for my gun. I push his hand away and I shoot him, so he falls down the ground, like grabbing his legs, because obviously he's not used to getting
Oh, hang
shot
on.
at.
I'm sorry. 1 second.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I actually goofed. Because this is a group, they have a lot more stress. So you don't take them out. So I'm sorry.
Okay.
That's my
No
bad.
worries.
I'm not gonna retcon Big Joe's triumph, but yeah, that was me.
No worries.
So you're doing 2 stress.
Okay.
Okay, so you get to take 2 of them out, basically.
So, can I still describe?
Yeah, absolutely. You're taking 2 of them out. So
Okay, so I slap the guy's hand off my gun, because, military training. I shoot him in the knee. He falls on the ground because he's not used to getting shot, so he's grabbing his legs in pain. And I point my gun at the other one, but the other one is already, fleeing, because holy shit, like, these guys are ready. And I go like, that's karma for you.
okay, cool. All right, Hector, you're up.
all right. So they're pretty much scattered. The chief, I don't have a line of sight on, so I'm gonna try to hit the biggest guy I can see that's not engaged. Center mass to hurt him. I'm just gonna shoot. It's good enough. That's a 3.
And you're aiming for the big guy.
Yep.
All right, since you are in your vantage point, I'm gonna have him. He's not gonna be able to use his fight because he's not aware of you. So he is going to. His method of defense is going to be to just take that bullet in stride. So he's gonna roll his physique, which he has a +3 in. You got a 3. He got a 5. And PR's camera just went completely green. Oh, okay, it's back. Yeah, the image was just a big old green wall for a moment there.
He caught me. I'm green screening.
I'm actually invisible.
So my choices are to tie, but I don't have any effect if I lose this one, right?
If you
But,
tie, you get a boost. If you fail, nothing happens. You just don't do anything. And if you beat him, you deal stress.
Yeah, so I would lose a a free invoke to get a boost, which is not really good. So I think I just failed.
Okay.
I got surprised.
All right. So you graze him basically. You graze him, and he just kind of goes. "Argh."
Yep.
And he's looking around for where you are. And since you're not, I mean, like narratively speaking, you're hidden. So until he needs to make an attack against you, which he won't because he doesn't have a gun, he just like, where did that come from? And then he squares back up with Roy, and that'll make it Chuck's turn.
All right, sorry, we were getting into a misunderstanding in the Discord about what to do.
Apparently talking in circles.
Yeah, because I was asking advice on whether or not I should provoke them now or use a stunt. And then they're like, well, don't you also have the boost? And I was like, I'm saving the boost for the compound because clearly we're not going to get gas out of this specific situation. And they were like, but there is no gas. I'm like, yes, there is at the compound, right? And they were like, no. But ends up, we were thinking, some people were saying compound, some people were saying dorm. They're the same thing. It's a simile. Anyway, or it's not a simile. God. What the fuck is that?
Synonym.
Synonym. There we go. Thanks. Wow, English is not even your first language.
I so agree.
That's my favorite spice.
You got me. That said, I would. Let's see. That's once per session that I can do that. So do I want to save it or do I not? I want to try and use peer-reviewed article. So I'm going to roll lore. Correct?
You're trying to create an advantage?
Yes.
Okay, what kind of advantage are you trying? What are you trying to create with lore?
Well, that's the problem. Is I'm not sure, but I'd like to create an advantage, like combatively or otherwise, for a for Roy or yeah, probably Roy. He's closest by towards like.
Can I interject?
Yeah, go ahead.
You can actually give them a bad aspect if you want to invoke lore. If you studied guns or if you have a book about guns or whatever, you can actually add an aspect to them saying their guns
All their guns are rusty or something.
So what a created advantage? Kind
They're
of
not
like
holding guns.
the greasers are holding guns.
Oh, the greaser thugs are. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, the chief's not holding a gun.
The ones who aren't holding guns are now all collectively underneath an I-beam. Now, the way create an aspect works is you're creating a situational aspect if you succeed, which means you're either creating a new element of the situation that can be used to your advantage, or you're learning something about the situation that you didn't previously know.
Yeah, I'm not trying to create an aspect, though.
That's what create an advantage does.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. For example, another thing too is if you studied biology for some reason, you could inspect his fighting technique and tell the guys, "Hey guys, he has a weak left knee," and then Jaken can add the boss has a weak left knee, and they can use that advantage. They can invoke that advantage to help.
Mhm.
Right.
Or, having barbed wire on a kukri is
Really dumb.
dumbass shit.
Exactly.
They're dumb as
He doesn't
shit.
know how to use a blade. As a studier of a medieval literature, and y'all can't see me. I pretended to push up my glasses.
That's what my character does.
Oh man, I need to find my.
No, you adjust your goggles.
Yeah. You.
In my
adjust your
professional
glasses.
opinion.
He squints his eyes. Mm.
Yeah, but I think instead I just want to provoke a negative emotional state on the chief by yelling at him. So let me.
You're gonna try to inflict mental stress.
Yeah, this is a tabletop role-playing game, so I'm gonna role-play it. Hey, big guy! I bet you thought you were all so tough, but now we've got 5 of your boys in the clampers, and you're going out swinging. That's it for me.
All right, roll provoke. I don't know if he has a defense for this. he
It
might
would be
he
Will
might
in theory.
It'd be Will, yeah.
yeah. Well, these on the fly NPCs don't have a lot of like skills, so I think he's just gonna have to roll it at 0.
She
Because
found the weakness.
yeah, but this is affecting his mental stress boxes, not his physical ones. So she's coming at him a different way. Yeah, so he's gonna roll +0. So you got a 2, and he got a -2. So
Woohoo!
you're doing 3 mental stress to him.
might
He's
not have
gonna
sounded-
Now,
flee.
is
He's
that
gonna
with
flee.
style?
That's not
It's
again
not.
in combat.
Okay.
Yeah, the with style is you just dealt more damage.
Well, and that's I thought maybe mental was slightly different. So
No, it's the same.
He's
Um,
probably gonna flee anyways.
Okay, so I believe you can only check 1 stress box per hit.
But you have to choose one.
Right. So he doesn't have enough mental stress unless you can check multiple boxes. I'm gonna go on the assumption that you can't, because in some of the Let's Plays I've seen, that's how they operated. And again, it's been years since I've done this, so I suspect that means he's got to take a consequence.
dun dun dun.
Womp womp womp.
And now is as good a time as any to explain how consequences work.
You're right.
Every moment's a learning moment.
The more you know.
We all grow.
Yes, I just found it. You can only check off 1 stress box per hit. Okay, so a
Shut up,
consequence, a consequence, is a purely negative aspect, a temporary aspect. There are 2, 4, and 6. That's how much stress they reduce. And when they're much harder to get rid of. Unlike stress, they don't go away at the end of combat. And once someone inflicts a consequence on you, that someone gets a free invocation of that consequence. And anyone attacking you can use one of your consequences. They can invoke one of your consequences with the fate point for a boost. So you've just told him that the chips are down and he's looking bad. So I'm going to call this one, and if you agree, back against the wall. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I was thinking something effectively that as far as like willing to surrender, obviously in a bad position and not a very good leader.
We'll call him bad leader.
Could he also just be frozen and like fear from he just watched 5 of his men get taken out by an I-beam, 2 more get shot, and now there's this punk kid essentially chirping him, and he's just like, he's indecisive, I guess.
Yeah, part of me wants him to be like willing to back down, and because I think we could use the shame he would feel as leverage against him to get what we want out of his big boss boy. Like, well, you don't want us telling.
Okay, I got it. How about ashamed of his mooks?
Nice.
Because we're gonna take his weapons and ammunitions after he tried to double cross us.
All right.
Damn it.
So here we are. This consequence is on the big chief guy, and it's in yellow because Chuck gets 1 free invocation of it.
Well played.
Yep.
Why mental consequence 4?
Because there's no 3 box.
Oh,
Yeah, there's no good place for this freaking turn order now, but that's okay. And now it's the chief's turn. Okay. Looking around at his predicament, and you can see that he's frustrated with his men. He turns to Roy, and he sneers. He's like, "Well, if I'm going down, I'm taking you with me." And he takes his ill-conceived kukri, and he's going to swipe it at you. And he's got +5 fight. So now you get to decide what skill you want to use to defend with, if that skill can normally defend.
Let's see.
The options are athletics, Well, I'm just gonna go through the ones that make sense. Athletics, fight, notice, physique. Yeah, those would probably be ones you would pick right now. One of those
So,
three.
yeah, I'm going to just go with athletics and be nimble enough to not get hit by the stupid barbed wire kukri.
It's gonna hurt your pride more than your physique if you get hit.
Well, no, given the shape of the kukri and how they use it, having it wrapped in barbed wire would still hurt because it would be a slashing, cutting motion where the barbed wire would essentially rip. Not
Yeah.
as devastating as the blade itself, but I mean, I wouldn't want to be hit by it.
Yeah,
Right.
it would not be
His
fun at
rendering
all.
is
All right, so
rendering
he'll roll
instead of
first. He
shot.
gets a +5 to this roll, so he got a 6.
You also
Well,
have
shit.
you have +4. You could
Yeah, I do have +4. There we go.
Oh, not cool.
All right, so currently you're taking 3 stress. So you can either take your 3 stress box and call it a loss, or if you want to invoke an aspect to reduce the damage you're taking. And I assume since you've got pretty high physique, you have a 3 stress physical
I do
box.
have a 3 stress box. Yeah, I've got physical and mental stress 3. So yeah, that was that. I
And
have a
stress,
+4,
as soon
and
as the
I got a
scene's
total of
over,
3.
your stress goes away.
Right, and I don't, and I'm not taking any consequences from this at the
No.
moment. I'm gonna call it a wash and take it.
Yeah, you got
All right.
unlucky, quite frankly.
Yes.
So with your athletics, what do you try to do? You try to get out of the way?
Yeah, I tried to kind of like sidestep out of the path of it, and
And
he
he-
just
Yeah, he gets you. He kind of tags you on the side, and he gives you this nasty. It's gonna bleed, but it's pretty much superficial scratch down your forearm.
wait, left forearm or right forearm?
Again, it's superficial. Your choice.
Okay, we're gonna say left forearm because I throw with my right. So
Got it.
What,
All right.
you ain't a switch hitter?
The greaser thugs.
no, I'm not.
They are going to frantically return fire on our boy Bill here.
Oh no, dear Lord, no.
They're going to shoot with their rifles, and they have a +2, so they scored a 3. So how do you want to defend against
Shit.
this?
Athletic, dodge that crap.
Athletics to do a barrel roll, but on the ground. What do you call a
Oh.
ground barrel roll?
Somersault.
Really? Really, game? Really?
All right, so they're doing 1 stress to you.
I could take it. Yeah, I'm gonna save my tokens for later. I'm gonna take it. 1 stress I can take. So
All right.
physical 1, right?
Yep. So you don't get hit, but the roll, that kind of bangs you up.
But it works so well in movies.
All right, and that's going to bring us top of the round with Roy.
Not even gonna say anything. I'm swinging at him again. This time, yeah,
There you go.
just swing. Just
Chat
swing.
knows what I was going for. What do you call a barrel roll on the ground? And Chat's like a roll.
A somersault.
Somersault works too.
Good job, chat. I'm just swinging at him.
Okay.
That was horrible.
He's gonna fight back, and he has a +5. So he got a 5. You got a 1.
Yep. Nope. I'm good.
All right.
Done.
Yeah. You try
Done.
to swing at him, and he uses his kukri to bat your bat.
Bat.
All right, Big Joe, you're up.
Seeing as Roy has just been wounded, Big Joe will try to go for a great breakfast, a grand slam, and will just swing his bat down at this big guy
Okay.
once again with a. I am really sorry for this, but you have left me no choice. This is hilarious, but I'm doing this. But go.
Oof.
Haha.
Once again, he's going to use his fight to try to maneuver away from this.
Yeah, I mean,
He got a 5. You got a 2. I've been rolling
Yeah,
a lot
I'm
of
not-
zeros this combat.
I'm not pushing it. It's just swing and a miss again.
All right.
Yep.
So he bats away Roy's bat, and then immediately looks up and just kind of vaults backwards as this tree comes down where he's standing, where he was standing. All right, and Bill, you're up.
I'm gonna try and scare the rest of the Greaser Town. So, using actually don't turn the other cheek stunt, the first time I suffer physical consequences in a physical conflict, I gain a free invocation of bark and no bite aspect until the end of the session. Once per
Whoa!
session.
That's when you take a consequence, not stress.
Oh yeah, you're right. A consequence, an actual consequence. Never mind then. I'm just gonna shoot at.
Okay. All right. Once again, they're going to defend with notice. They're going to have a +0. You rolled a 1. They rolled a 0, so you're doing 1 stress.
So that's one more down.
Yeah, you're going to take out one more of the mooks.
So I guess I would just shoot him, maybe in the hand that's like in the arm that's holding his, and because of that he drops his gun and he.
Yeah, and he like you kind of like shoot him right here, and it starts bleeding. And he's like and he kind of like just kind of ducks out.
Yeah.
He ain't about that life.
Yep, that's pretty much it.
Okay, sounds good to me. Hector, you're up.
All right. I'm once again gonna try to be a sharpshooter. I'm actually gonna aim at the leader, try to hit him in the leg, whatever I can see. I'm gonna shoot.
Okay. Once
That's
again,
one.
he's gonna just try to. He's using his raw physique to just take that bullet in stride. He has a +3. You rolled a 1. He rolled a 3.
You can probably tie if you call the free vantage point, but after that I'm not sure what you can do to it.
Once again, I have the same choice as last time. The free invoke is better than the boost, from what I understand. So
It is.
I'm trying to get a shot on anybody important. I can't succeed, and I don't see I have any other choice than to wait until next time.
Keep shooting.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm too far.
Chuck, you're up.
Was really hoping the ashamed of his mooks would be useful immediately, but that's
Well, you get a free
I guess
invocation on it,
sometimes it
and
is.
anyone else can
Yeah.
can invoke it or compel it. So
I wanna go ahead and get the free invocation of it to like convince him to
Can I
lay down his
interrupt?
arms. Sure.
Since my turn was like 30 seconds ago, I have tokens. Maybe I could invoke the fact that I'm shooting at the guy. His mooks can see that, he can see that. Maybe they could be scared by the fact that they're ashamed and getting shot at from God knows where.
well, unfortunately, that's a bit of a stretch because this is a
Yeah,
mental
it-
consequence, and you're shooting at him.
Mhm.
So
I mean,
don't
it's
I don't
a
know how
long
that.
stretch in my mind, but
Okay, how
I'm
about
just asking.
he looks over to his mooks to see how they're doing, and in that moment of distraction, because he feels like he has to babysit them, you actually are able to draw a bead on him. But that would cost you a fate point because you don't have the free invocation. Only Chuck does.
Yeah,
But
what I'm
would that
saying is I
make-
want to go ahead and invoke it for free to convince him to lay down his arms. He's lost. Like to take him out of the fight. I'm just taking him out with a mental rather than the physical.
That
Okay,
sounds
so
more like-
Hector, since we're on to Chuck's turn, just keep that in mind for future. We're just gonna move on with Chuck's turn. Okay, so you want to use provoke, and then assuming you want to use the free invoke to give you +2 or to reroll.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you don't need to really invoke an aspect until after you've seen
Until a
your
roll. has
until
been
you
done.
see results.
So provoke is still considered though like an attack.
Provoke is the only attack. I think there's only 3 attack skills in the game: shoot, fight, and provoke. So whenever you're gunning for someone's mental, you're going to be using provoke.
Yeah. Cool. I can provoke.
You got a 2. He has a +0, so he rolled a -2. So that is once again you're dealing 3 stress. Now you can go ahead and get your free invoke of Ashamed of His Mooks to make it 2 more, and he'll be taking 5 mental stress.
Oh yeah, let's really lay on.
Okay, he cannot. He just since this guy is just an NPC, he doesn't have a consequence 6 because he's not a boss. And the highest mental stress he has is 2. So 2 plus 2 is 4. So he cannot soak this. So he's taken out. You get to decide how the chief gets out of this conflict. I'm gonna go ahead and
Alright,
delete the
so
consequence because he's out. You're
I
done.
think the way it's gonna happen is whenever after all of this stuff has happened and the chief has like taken some blows after 44, Chuck jumps forward and is like, "Look, man, you're gonna die out here if you don't go ahead and lay down those arms. Your boys are useless, and you can't even get a hit in."
Yeah, and yeah, he realizes this isn't gonna work, and so he drops his dumb kukri, and he's like, "Okay, I give up."
Yeah, it's like either you die out here or you go ahead and hand it over now.
Right. All right. Given that there's only 2 mooks left, they as soon as they see their chief lay down their arms, they are going to declare right here that they are giving up. They are conceding this conflict. So their concession is that you guys won't kill them, but that's not really much of a concession. Basically, nothing's going to happen to them. They just they drop their guns, and that's it. They are no longer a threat to you. But yeah. All right, and that's going to be our first conflict here. I'm gonna go ahead and keep that initiative since it's static. Yeah, it doesn't.
Since I didn't get my answer, I just want to know if I had invoked the mental consequence, it wouldn't have given me a better bonus than if I had invoked my aspects or my free
Right.
vantage
Which
point.
aspect you invoke will give you the same benefit. However, you need to think about 2 things.
Their roles they're gonna use to dodge it and or
Well,
to defend
well,
from it.
when invoking an aspect, there's 2 things you need to think about when you're invoking an aspect for a bonus. One is it plausible that this aspect relates, and then 2 is what am I trying to do here narratively. So that's what you do when you pick which aspect, because every aspect is equal in the eyes of your fate point.
My problem with aspects is I have too much imagination. I can see a lot of ways to apply those, and it's sometimes stretch or far fetched.
Okay, since the chief was taken out of this conflict, that means not only does he surrender, but Chuck, you get to decide the resolution of like this whole thing. I propose that he trades your ammo for the 3 jerry cans, the real jerry cans.
At this point, I would be like, well, we have your weapons, we have your guys under.
Or
I would come out, and we would take it all and fuck them.
Yeah, I mean, Chuck, since this guy got taken out, like you get to choose. You can say, "Stay here, we're taking everything," and then go into his base and just rob him blind.
Because I'm gonna join the main area, and they're gonna see an automatic rifle. They're like, "Oh shit!"
It's up to you, Molly.
The one shooting at us.
And you probably already signed off, but good night, Robert. Oh no, my everything's going crazy. Am I here?
Oh, somebody dropped.
What
Nobody
happened?
dropped. I had a brief lag spike. It was all on Discord, so I think the stream's fine. So Molly, how do you want this to resolve?
I think probably. I feel like Chuck would get the guy to give up and then look at Roy like, "Okay, what now?" Is the thing like, okay, I just want the mooks to stay in place. Rather, I don't want everyone to run off to their leaders. I want them to be like, "Here, ours," and be like, "All right, so who do we really talk to about getting things done? Because you're clearly not in charge."
Well, actually, the big meathead guy is the one in charge.
So so
yeah, basically we came here for fuel, and we would have it.
The big meathead guy is not a oh gosh, what's the word for the boys?
But also, we don't really want to meet
Here,
Tornado.
let me make
Really
this.
not like a Joelite, but the way Flip was talking, it sounded like they had a
Oh,
Jewelite they were considering.
Tornado.
Tornad
We
is.
don't want to meet the guy.
They serve Tornad, but there is no indication that Tornad lives in Toronto.
Yeah, but like if they've got this, I was assuming there would be a larger collection of individuals, whether or not it was Tornado or whatever, and thus they would actually have the supplies back at the thing, but they were trying to nip us in the butt.
Right.
Depends of what Big Joe tells us from now.
Let me try to make this simple for you. I'm gonna offer you a compel. I'm
That always
compelling
sounds so
your.
sinister.
I'm gonna compel your, but that's illegal, to make Chuck's vision of a good resolution to this be that you guys trade your ammo for 3 real jerry cans.
Oh yeah, I'm very pro that. Let's do that.
All right, well take that there.
And we just have to take it and not threaten them at gunpoint, right?
Right, they've been defeated. You guys have them at gunpoint, so they're going to go
Do
with
what we
it.
say.
Yeah.
But let's say my character is not about that.
Well, that's between you and your character. The current situation at hand is that's what's happening. So if you want to intervene, feel free.
No, well, it's hypothetical, but I'm curious.
Well, I mean, do it in character. You can protest, you can whatever, but that's currently how the situation is playing out.
I'm gonna look at Roy because I'm on the side now, and why should we even let them keep anything? We shouldn't give them more ammo. You see what they do with ammo? And I'm gonna look at Chuck they use it against good people like us. We should take away their guns and ammos. Leave them with stupid knives. And that's all he's gonna say. He's gonna walk away. He's kind of pissed already at it. He would do something if you don't walk away. So he's gonna go back to his vantage point and look at the situation.
Why, we came here for a good, clean trade. I'm not gonna threaten them and take all they own. That would make us no better than common criminals.
So Hector hears that while he's walking away. He's just gonna shout, "They broke the rules first. I'm back to protecting your asses."
2 negatives might make a positive, but 2 wrongs does not make a right.
He just throws his arms into the air and he keeps walking.
I'm gonna invoke.
You're gonna compel?
No, I'm gonna invoke.
Okay, you only need to invoke when you're making a skill roll. So
Okay, well that's what I was gonna do.
Okay.
is, I'm
He's taking a little finish.
I'm gonna invoke. I guess I'm in charge now. And roll rapport to get both of them to calm down and just do what I want done.
all right, how do you guys want to defend against this rapport?
Will.
Okay.
Damn it! Man, I'm glad I invoked.
All right.
I'm gonna...
They both got a 3.
So I need a 2 or higher.
You need a 2 or higher, then you're.
I'm gonna point out that I have an aspect that will make me do whatever you.
I know.
Yeah, you can just compel 44 on high.
I might compel you to
Hang
that.
on, keep your fate point for now. Go ahead and roll.
Okay.
That's physique.
Oh, I hit the wrong button.
All right, so if you want to invoke, I guess I'm in charge now, to assert your authority, then you will win them over.
I'm just yep.
Okay.
So invoking it.
Cool. Now keep in mind, guys, Roy has no fate points, so if you want to compel him, he can't stop you.
A.
Hey.
No, hold on. Given our current locale, it would be A.
Okay, I'm gonna compel you, eh? All right.
I'm just I.
Okay. That being said, unfortunately, we don't get to capitalize on Roy's vulnerability narratively because that's gonna be a good place for us to stop. You guys get your 60 liters of.
What did Roy want us to do?
He just wanted. Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Do you want us to give the Ammo.
So-
If
Yeah,
you're
right.
deciding for one of us, you shouldn't have invoked at all.
Right. So I invoked because I agree and disagree with both of you. They absolutely are in the wrong here, and they gave up their opportunity for a fair trade when they came to the meeting place under false pretenses with no actual gasoline. So what we're going to do is we're going to take them back. We're going to take the, what'd you say, 60 liters worth of gasoline, and they're not getting any ammo out of it, but we're not taking all of their gasoline.
Okay, then that's what happens.
Or no. I'm sorry. No.
Okay.
They're getting the ammo, but we're taking all of their gasoline.
Oh,
That's what
all
it
of their
was.
gasoline.
Yes. Yeah. I'm gonna leave the ammo with them.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and put an X on the loaded for bear.
Yep.
That's all right. So instead of 60 liters, you guys are gonna get a lot. I'm not gonna put a number to it, but let's just say this will get you a lot closer to Montana. So after you fill up your vehicles, you once again head out onto the road. But as you guys are taking all the petroleum, the chief, sunk it into himself and retreated and diminished. He's gonna look at you guys and he's, "Whoa, you're gonna cross the flats. Gonna have to deal with Ternad." And he kind of sneers.
Maybe he's more reasonable than you are.
I think I highly doubt that.
I
but
doubt that.
Yeah, I doubt
But
that
this-
too, but yeah.
His successful trade is probably a good place to go ahead and.
Exactly. So you guys
Yeah.
fuel up your cars and you leave Toronto in your rearview windows, and that's where we're gonna call it session 1.
All right.
Fair enough.
Cool.
Well, that was. I like this system already.
Oh, I
Mhm.
like
That
it.
was
I like the
educational.
narrative system.
I'm a bit confused, but I like it already.
Well, I'll take it. All right, everybody. Thank you all for tuning in for Neosoma session 1. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I believe we did. Well, we will all get a little bit more comfortable with this rule set, and things will start progressing much more smoothly in the future. But hopefully we kept things going so there wasn't too much, what are we doing right now? Kind of moments. So we will be back with this next Sunday, 6 p.m. Central. And so stay tuned for that. And if you're interested in the session 0, that will be going up on YouTube within the next week or 2. I don't want to put an exact date on it because, things get weird. All right, everybody, have a good night, and we'll see you next week.
Take care.